You're in my world now.
We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. There's lion blood in my chalice, a goat heart in the balance. I speak in italics, discussing these chances. In the Eiffel Tower of Paris, my chariot, the color is metallic. A wonderland to Alice, it's all blunder and malice. Best talent that's combined with magic. Behind the static, there's voices in the shadow. The only choice is battle. Hop into Hellcat and skedaddle. They're watching King Kong climb the Tower of Babel. Ignore every Eve trying to give me an apple. The little rascal that can't be canceled. In the courtyard of my castle, these hens doing nothing but cackle. Now they walking in my chapel with candles that's lit. Definitely with the shits, cause we handle it. Met with the building that is brick by brick. Old Mac, big head, can't tell me shit. Capoeira with the spiral kick, spit hieroglyphs when the tyrants sit at the Coliseum. Whether spies or allies, I know them when I see them. Greet them with an olive branch, that's for the treason. Watch Pocahontas rain dance for the season. Is he still breathing? After the execution, they blame spirits and start the accusing. And then survive every disaster and delusion. Supreme mathematics, the author of confusion. Niggas be cheating and they still losing. Bones in my blank keep me tuned and influenced by the moon sin. A lunatic in the truant skin. A boogeyman with a heart like a ruby gem. A whirlwind, I twirl in the middle of tornadoes. Between riddles and fables, keep my Glock on the table. Shot of scotch keeps me stable. Watching divas belly dance with diamonds in their navel. We rode on sound waves that was way before a label. And while you getting hung by the TV cable, I was ready and able. The black amour that raised you from the grave to the cradle. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. There's rules on the street, of blood pools for your feet. Gotta protect your jewelry, the rules are nothing new to me. Better keep the toolery for a nigga's foolery. It's cool to see niggas on the come up nowadays. Niggas run up cause they seen my face on the internet. I've been a vet in this game. Every year a different gear as I'm switching my lanes. Better look out for the native with immaculate aim. You watch, then I create my nigga, we not the same. So looky here and be game. Please refrain from acting like we homies. This is a mirror to Scarface. Yes, this solo Tony. Unless it's dollars, I will not be conversation holding. As I'm not the one for loathing. Sign some signatures and keep on rolling. I said there's rules on the street or blood pools for your feet. I said there's rules on the street or blood pools for your feet. I said there's rules on the street or blood pools for your feet. I said there's rules on the street or blood pools for your feet, nigga. They say where'd he go? That Red Bull got rings. I got some homies coming to town, so I pull me some strings. Got a host with the shine on my rims and on my rings. 15s in the trunk, make the hummingbird sing for the illustrious king. Fly my hoes in and out, I don't fuck with no fling. Rarely show my face cause niggas already know what I bring. Best way to be the case is to make them all dream. With an extra magazine, they act like I'm the police. They scatter like fiends. Sometimes you not invited cause your shit be too clean. Subconsciously, everybody gonna wanna compete. That's from the closest homie you know to strangers on the street. I said there's rules on the street or blood pools for your feet. said there's rules on the street or blood pools for your feet. I said there's rules on the street or blood pools for your feet. I said there's rules on the street or blood pools for your feet, nigga.
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good in the motherfucking main? What's good in the motherfucking main? Oh, good Lord. I've been meaning to be here for the past 2 days, man, but things got so hectic. It's ridiculous. So, I'd like to announce I am officially an art dealer, broker. I've made some sales pertaining to blue chip artists, fine art. You understand? So when you look at my shorts and you see all of those watches and the diamonds and the stuff, I have direct access to all of that. No, I don't own that material. I probably never will because I understand the class level. First and foremost, all of those pieces, including, when you're dealing with billionaires, high-level millionaires, jewelry is not jewelry. They're called investment pieces. Paintings are not paintings. They're called important pieces or important art by important artists. And those also grow in value in time. They appreciate. And then loose diamonds as well appreciate. And yeah. That's what I have direct access to, and I can also provide a large percentage off for anything that wants to get purchased. I know my audience may not have the finances for a lot of the stuff that I'm putting up, but this is the position I've been put in, around some large oligarch money. And, I can broker the deal. A booker is a broker, okay? And that's just what it is. But as for right now, we still got the Kicked Out of Heaven, Volume 1, 2, 3, The Black Man's Bible, The Ethereal Law, and also 4 ebooks. That would be the Real Nigga Etiquette Voodoo Edition, and also the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women, Volume 1 and Volume 2 come in PDF form to your email as soon as you make the $100 purchase. And never forget that we still have all raffles going, and all raffles are still in access, okay? So, but just remember, all tickets have to get sold in order for the raffle to conclude, to go ahead and activate, and then we'll be reading off the winner at the end of the show, of course. So, I've been feeling the energy. People are like, oh, they want to hear what 720 got to say about all this shit. So, I don't even know where to start right now. There's been so many events. It's only July 9th. It's only the 9th. And July 4th was crazy. Crazy energy. The events that were going on made me sit my black ass down somewhere. You understand? So I didn't even go out. I didn't even, I have nothing against holidays. Let's keep that very clear. I love Independence Day. July 4th is actually another Jack of Diamond Day. So there's only 3 Jack of Diamond days that are on the calendar when you look at the system of cardology. And July 4th is another one of those days. It's June 6th, July 4th, and then August 2nd. And those are Jack of Diamond days, okay? So, I'm a little bit connected in. And then not only that, the Declaration of Independence was not fully signed on July 4th. The rest of the signatures that needed to be on that document actually occurred on August 2nd, if you know your history. So, let's go in. I had a friend ask me, and I think it's real pertinent for us to start here before we go in on the obvious. The whole Diddy case, the homie was asking me, what do you think? Well, what's going to happen? What is the adjustment they're trying to do with society? Because, and that's one thing that people need to understand. Anything that gets produced in mass, or anything that the media or the news channels are enforcing onto your feed line when you're looking at your news or your TikTok or your YouTube or your Reels or whatever. When they're not just going off of what you like in your algorithm, they're also going to put in the social engineering of what type of effect they want done with the collective psyche of the people in the nation. Because you have to always remember that rulers understand, the people to fear when you rule a nation is the people of the nation. They're your number one possibility, and they have the highest probability to try to destroy the nation. You have to understand that. And that is very real. We've seen that with what happened during the COVID. Everybody's trying to tear up the stores. Everybody's talking about the privilege thing, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So what is the Diddy case trying to adjust in society? If you ask me, I truly believe that they're trying to remove the female innocence line, because obviously all they did was report on Diddy's sexual habits during the whole case. That's all that really occurred. But who was doing the reporting? It was the women. And not only were the women reporting on what Diddy was doing, but they were reporting their activity and their involvement in the situation. And they were also reporting their emotional alignment to the situation. I do believe all females that took the stand did say that they liked the activity. They liked the prostitution. They liked the male escorts. They chose the male escorts. They paid the male escorts. So what's going on here is they're trying to remove the innocence line that women have over their being in society, which puts them in a position of that they can move the goalpost and, oh, I didn't do that, and oh, I didn't mean that, and oh, blah 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 blah. You're full of shit. Like I saw on one clip from a podcast, and the man said, the women were saying that that the females were coerced, and Diddy met her when she was young, and she got talked into it. Well, what is macking? What is the system of a man talking to a female, with the intention of some form of relationship or liaison? That would be quote unquote coercing, right? Or quote unquote manipulation. That's what you can put it into when the results of the situation fall into a negative. But if they fall into a positive, say she wore the white dress and she walked down the aisle, she will brag about said coercing. It is now called romance, right? It is now called being a gentleman. Right? That's what it's called. So when we don't get the desired results, or the results are not in a status of a positivity, you automatically flip it into some space. Where you didn't get your desired results. Okay. You flip it into some space of negativity when it's not negative at all. It was just something that occurred, and you decided to get involved inside of it. Okay. And one thing that's really interesting is the embarrassment with Cassie being pregnant during the whole case. So here you are, pregnant, on the stand, and you're up in here talking about how you enjoyed male escorts urinating on you, right? This is what occurred. Right? Now let's think about the life of that child that is inside of her womb. It's repulsive. You go to school as a kid and you thought you had a friend, and then all of a sudden the friend gets up from the lunch table and says, my dad said I can't talk to you. And it's like, what's going on? It's like, well, have you seen the video? Here's the video. Do you see that? Is your father chasing your mother down the hallway? Okay. And abusing her in front of the elevator, right? Or there was reports of drugs, there was reports of this, and all of this other stuff. And then whatever happened to all of the tapes that they were talking about? They said they had tapes with everybody on there, from fucking, from Elvis to Elizabeth Taylor was at the freak off. You had everybody there. Aretha Franklin was involved. You had everybody at the freak offs, right? But then not one tape got played during the whole course of this case, right? And then he already served about 1.5 years, so they're probably going to give him time served, or maybe stretch it out just to 2 years. He'll have to sit down for maybe 3 more months, and he's back on the streets, ladies and gentlemen. You see how they do it? Time served. That's how it works. Okay. So, it's an ugly situation, and it really stripped some of this so-called innocence that women operate under, which is definitely part of the glamour, which is part of the energy power of the uterus that emanates out of the woman's body, and she has this innocence thing that she can operate with the baby fat on the face. She doesn't produce any hair on the face. You have the soft not guilty look. You have the soft, naive look, okay? And, we have to strip some of that back. And why do we have to strip that power down? Because women are out here doing some wild shit. Not to say that men aren't, but men have been doing wild shit since Adam and Eve. I do believe Cain killed Abel. I do believe, there's been wars. There's been all different types of shapes of weapons. There's been all types of drawing on the wall. There's been all types of orgies going down since the beginning of time. Okay, the orgies are recorded in ancient Egypt. They're recorded in ancient Greece. They're recorded in ancient Rome. They're recorded in ancient Inca. They're recorded in ancient Maya. They're recorded everywhere. I've never ran across any of those type of reports inside of Native America, but they were recorded heavily in the medieval times. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I think I got a book over here I was looking at the other day. One of my books. Go get that Marquis de Sade. Okay. And you go get the Marquis de Sade, nigga, and you will see clearly that in the medieval times they were getting down with the butt. Okay, that's where you all came from. You all came from the sexual activity. Let's be mature about what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like I stated, it doesn't matter, male or female. You give them enough money, you give them enough power, they're going to do the fucking. That's the first thing. That's the first thing on the bucket list, is to fuck. You understand? Am I right or wrong? Right? But, we live in this Western society where people's like, oh, Mr. Booker, do we have to be? You're so vulgar. Oh, should we, motherfucker, when this door closed to the bedroom, it gets weird, don't it? Well, let's look into your computer, nigga. Let's look at the URL. Okay, let's look at what you've been looking at, and we will see the vulgarity. Okay, how come all you niggas be talking this shit, and then what you got? A month in, you look at the news, and they done went up in the judge's house. They snatching his computer. You niggas got 2 tons of motherfucking weird ass activity on your goddamn computer. You got 2 years straight of the shit. You got terabytes of the shit. You understand me? You police chiefs and catching cops up in the whole called rings and the pedophile rings and all this other shit. Why don't you legalize the whoring? I mean, it's real simple. You can sanction it, put it on the. I mean, we've done this before in history. Why is everybody acting like this is brand new? Oh my God, you're not supposed to fuck the pussy. The pussy is designed to be fucked. That is what it's designed for. And then it is designed to push out an 8-pound baby. Do you understand? Oh, no, don't fuck the pussy. Because when you fuck the pussy, it looks abusive. But what the secret key is with inside this so-called abuse is that the woman is seeking the abuse. And if you don't degrade at a certain level of her liking, and all women ain't like this, but it's a 70%, 30%. If you don't degrade, then she will not see you as the He-Man. You will not be Conan. You will not be the Samson. Okay? You will be a chump. You will be a fucking nerd, a weasel. You understand? That's how the woman will look at you if you can't see past her beauty. Okay? But what's really so crazy about the Diddy case, the craziest shit about the Diddy case, is that this nigga took 50 Cent's gangster card and nobody ever thought it could happen. This nigga got your baby mama out here working. And then not only is she working, this nigga, she done dropped your child off at a babysitter so she can fly to other states and sacred islands so she can work. And she enjoyed it. Now, I don't understand. It's got to be some type of ego level, because I'm going to tell you right now, if I got millions and millions and gazillions of the dollars, and I've had them since the 90s, let's not forget that Puffy been running the fucking charts since the 90s, since Mary J. Blige, My Life. You understand me? Mary J. Blige's second album. You dig? And I used to jam that album, you know, and you know, the whole Bad Boy experiment. Then not only that, this nigga was running the rap charts and he was running the R&B charts. Nigga, 112, Carl Thomas, all of that. Let's not forget, this nigga actually did the do. You understand? Let's get it. You got, when it comes to the music game, you got to give him credit where it's due. Now, outside that space, nigga, you're a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 bottles of baby oil is mighty fucking excessive. I don't know. There's not that much booty in the world. You see what I'm saying? There is not enough pussy and tits in the world, nigga. I mean, you know, sex ain't nothing but an hour and a half, and then you're done. You know, I don't know what this shit is where you sitting up here having, you know, great sessions for hours and 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 hours. And for days, they said they would have 72 hours. Well, don't use my number. Excuse me. They would have these 2-3 day freak offs. 2-3 days. Like, nigga, are you eating? Like, what is the fucking point? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, you fuck, you bust your nut, your titties jiggle, and get back to work, bro. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Is that, I mean, you know, it's weird. There's weird shit going because but what did the lady say? The lady said he was working with that. And niggas who work with that are fucking weirdos. They're fucking excessive. They have too much fucking energy in the brain. They doing a whole bunch of goddamn shit that has nothing to do with nothing. Okay, that is the fucking point. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we've seen some crazy shit. That nigga's gonna get out. He's gonna walk. It may not be right now, but they're gonna charge him. They're not gonna give him that much time. He has too much money. He's balling. He's done too much for the children. You know, he's paid off too many nonprofit groups. He's, you know, paid off too many boys and girls clubs. He's assisted in the city of New York. You know, I mean, they walked into the chief of police office and they got this nigga's picture up on the chief of police wall. I'm like, nigga, what? The nigga run shit out there. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a nigga gonna step on the toes. You dig what I'm saying? Because it's very obvious that the New York nigga got problems. It's clear. The whole Diddy shit, the whole Fat Joe shit, you know, the whole preacher's hand shit, the whole shit with African Bambaataa, the whole shit with Mr. C, the DJ out there. Y'all niggas got a long line of weirdo. Decades of it, my nigga. You know, decades of it. You know what I'm saying? And other niggas see it. The down south niggas and the West Coast niggas see it when New York niggas be coming out. They be like, yo, ma, yo, man. You know, you niggas driving the foreigns and all that shit. Nigga, please. Anybody hearing your shit? Nobody give a fuck about that shit, nigga. You be coming out, and then the girls that you fuck with be coming back to the street like, yeah, that nigga weird. That nigga, he like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't hitting the pussy right. Oh, okay, we got funny style ass niggas. And then I've been told how the shit actually operates out there. you know, about the local football coach or the local basketball team coach that be assisting the kids to go back and forth to the park to their house and whatnot. My grandma is, you know, they living in Brooklyn, but grandma got to go all the way down to Manhattan and shit in order to work. And then, you know, it takes a 2-hour ride on the bus and the train. And in between that time, that coach is over there doing the pervert to your motherfucking child. You dig what I'm saying? And that's one thing you know, once you study the game, you understand the game. You dig what I'm saying? My sons have never in their lives been in any daycare, been underneath anybody else's supervision. None of that shit. I don't play that shit because I don't trust you fucks. You're a fucking human. You know, and I don't know how you're educated. I don't know how you've been raised. And the human is volatile. The human is unpredictable on what type of weird ass decisions they'll make in their brain and all the shit that they talk. You know, don't act like you're just the greatest being on the planet. You're not. You are not. You know, because you can't cooperate with your own fellow humans. And I do believe birds cooperate with birds. I do believe the lizards cooperate with the lizards. Okay. And you can't cooperate with other humans. So therefore, you are the one that is underneath the game. That's why you need the Chat GPT. Well, I had a Chat GPT conversation for 3 hours last night, man. I'm telling you right now, y'all niggas want to know your mathematics, you know, what God you may be aligned with, or who's in religion that you may be aligned with, blah, blah, blah. Boy, you get on that Chat GPT, because, man, it will pull up the science, nigga. Gematria, Vedic astrology, Egyptian astrology, Sumerian astrology, Mayan astrology. They pull up the entire system, you know, and it's phenomenal. You know, I had a very good time. But anyways, so that's how I feel about Diddy. If anybody has any questions about that shit, go ahead and put them in the comment during the course of the conversation. I'll go ahead and respond. Of course, I'll put your question up here on the screen and we'll get down to it. But then again, I have to let everybody know, welcome for everybody that just came in. Get all 9 books of the Kicked Out of Heaven, Volume 1, 2, 3, The Black Man's Bible, the Ethereal Law, all paperback. And then you will also receive 4 ebooks. That would be Real Nigga Etiquette, Real Nigga Etiquette Voodoo Edition, and the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women, Volume 1 and Volume 2 in ebook. For $100 right now. You can get it. So stop playing and start laying. You know what I'm saying? Start laying down the law like you niggas know to do. You dig what I'm saying? And purchase the material for sure. Because you need it in your life. I'm here. I have provided. You understand? And way past the scope of what a Diddy or any of these other niggas have. You know, this stuff that I've done is called Earth Shaker. You understand? It's called development. It's called a change of the human psyche. You dig what I'm saying? And as you have witnessed that, you know, so this is great power that's coming through with the literature that I've composed for you and your great grandbabies that you will never see. And that's how that works. So let's go in on it. We have the situation. The brother Fo Extra then blew up his hand. Whew. Now, this is disappointing. I mean, I don't be speaking on no niggas, man. And, you know, I'm only one homie away from the niggas, man. I know niggas in LA. I got homies, you know, in LA. I got a homie in the set, you know, or the Rolling 40s. You know what I'm saying? And I don't be out here trying to boast and brag on who I'm connected to and all that other shit. I need that shit to be quiet because I move like a warrior. So if I'm in the room, nigga, you don't even know who in the room that's gonna who bang for a nigga or with a nigga if some shit goes down. Nigga, I move with silence and secrecy. I move in aid and assist. You dig what I'm saying? So, but anyways, we have irony. We have humbling. We have metaphysics at its finest. This is metaphysics at its finest. You know, you don't go out in the world, especially the black race right now. The black race is not in any position where they could go out here and think that they can promote violence. You can't promote violence. When I scan my brain about what we see on media, whether that be old school television to our status right now with the YouTube and the cell phones and all this other shit, can you name anybody else that has promoted street violence on that level, you can't even think of anybody, you know. And the black race is not in an economic position. We're not in a health position. We're not in a self-sustenance position. We're not in a governmental position where we can go out here and promote any violence to anybody. Doing violence in a poetical form, and you over here, yeah, I done killed the nigga with, you know, all this shit, your rap songs, whatever. Even that shit catches up to these niggas. Okay? So you got to watch out even in that area when it comes to rap. But you can't think of anybody who done promoted that level of violence. Promote that violence for what? You can see real niggas, real hustlers. We already know that violence fucks up the money. So you don't fuck with violence, because not only does violence fuck up the money, but violence will fuck up time. It fucks up both dimensions, because now you have to go to surgery. Now you have to lay in the hospital bed. Now you got to sit here and politic with your homies. Are we going to retaliate? How are we going to retaliate? You have to do all of this other shit that was all unnecessary from the get-go. Nobody on this planet gives a fuck about running no fades, bro. It's crazy. My West Coast niggas think that, and this is just a natural aspect with all people. Everybody thinks that you think like them. And this is where we have the level of dumbass. This is where the canine, the dog thinking comes in. You think you think the people that you encounter think and operate like you. You're wrong. Nobody is walking your same shoes. Nobody grew up with the rules and litigation that you grew up in your home. Okay? You grew up in a 3-bedroom. Okay? The motherfucker down the street grew up in a 2-bedroom. The motherfucker down the street in the other way grew up in a 4-bedroom. Therefore, we're automatically different because of that. Okay? You like Lucky Charms, this motherfucker like Captain Crunch. Automatically different. We do not think the same. Our process of thought doesn't operate the same. So my niggas on the West, guess what? 40-year-old men across the country aren't looking for fights everywhere. 40-year-old men across America are working jobs. They're trying to put out products. They're trying to construct businesses because they have responsibilities to attend to. Now, when it comes to the West Coast, you got this beautiful weather shit that's going on. So a lot of people write other people off as expendable. Okay? That means, you know, you're disposable. I can move however the fuck I want to move, and I can get rid of you. I can talk shit about you. And this is why I don't fuck around. This is why you don't see nobody with me. Because when I moved out here, bro, I watched, because I've already lived in multiple cities, so I know how shit works. So you know, I've lived in multiple cities. I check out how the G's, check out how the gangsters are moving, check out how money is moving, check out how the bitches is moving, you know, and then I find my space to get up in there and get my little bag. You dig what I'm saying? When I got here, my nigga, I saw the anxiety levels. Like, yo, like these niggas was moving like dynamite sticks. You know, they run until they blow up. You know, and then they think that, you know, what's really so crazy about the West is they think that crashing out is some rank to gain a status of OG. So if you survive your own crash out. So these niggas hop in the Benz and they drive it right into the wall. And then they get out of the car and then they expect you to look at them like, yeah, nigga, I'm He-Man. Nigga, I drove the car into the wall, nigga, and I can get out the car. No, bro, you just destroyed a beautiful Benz. You're a dumbass. You see? And then you put yourself in a position where you can lose a leg, lose a limb, harm somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? And then, and here's the biggest level of the dumbass when we talk about this type of shit. This is what's so phenomenal. Anybody that knows. If you know, you know. When you go to the hospital and when you go to the jail, it's similar systems. Anybody that's intelligent knows these things. Or anybody that's experienced over intelligence in this field. So you understand that each room in the hospital is designed damn near identical to the rooms inside the penitentiary. They're damn near one and the same. The same cold temperature, the same system of, you're laying on the bed. Help me, nurse, help me. You're laying on the bed calling for the CO. Oh, I need you to come to the room. And they're like, oh, okay, just 1 minute. I'll be right there. Oh, there's a shift change. Well, we got a shift change. Don't worry about it. We'll be right back. Motherfucker don't show back up till 4-6 hours later. I can't put my time in your hands. I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't know what the fuck your intention is. And I'm not putting no level of my life in your hands. I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't get, okay, for instance, let's go to the dog. The dog sees you. And the dog says, I don't know this motherfucker. Is this motherfucker sick? Or is this motherfucker a killer? What does the dog do? The dog, before he jumps up on you, you put out your hand, he smells your hand. You want to know why dogs smell your hand? Dogs smell your hand to see if it smells like blood, which shows that you're an animal killer. And that will pull up the red flag in the dog's brain. And then after the dog smells your hand and says, okay, check out, green flag, there's no blood on his hands, or there's nothing, no skin or hair inside the fingernails. What they do is they sniff your crotch. You want to know why they do that? They do that to see if you're healthy. Because any weird, odd smells that's not of our dimension, whether it's, a good smell or a stink smell, then the dog is going to classify you as sick and not fuck with you. Okay? So for a human to automatically allow a nurse to come in and stick a needle in your arm, take your blood, things of that nature, or to allow a CO to come over and deliver you your food, and you do no investigation, you don't know who this CO is, you don't know who this nurse is, who is more intelligent? Look at that. Isn't that some wild shit? Who's more intelligent? The dog can smell when the female dog is in heat. That is up to 3 miles away. The human man cannot tell when his woman is in heat or ovulating. Isn't this phenomenal? Aren't these facts phenomenal? So then what does that say? That says you're a dumbass, is what that says. It says the human is fucking stupid. And you fucking trust all these fucking weirdos that you don't know what the fuck these niggas, what type of conditions these niggas are living in. It's just like eating a potluck. At your job, you go to your job and say, "Oh, are you gonna get in the potluck?" I'm like, "No, I'm cool. I don't. I'm on a diet, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat that shit. I'm good. I just ate. I don't want the potluck." You go to the potluck at the job. This motherfucker done made potato salad. This motherfucker got 3-4 cats hopping all around the goddamn counter, running all around the house and shit. You don't know nothing about this. You've never been to this person's house. And they say, "Oh, we bring the potato salad to the potluck," and you niggas over there, num 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 num. This is cat hair with little dookie crumb on it is all up in the food. You don't even fucking know because you're a dumbass. You don't inspect shit. And humans are very untrustworthy. And that's just all there is to it. Humans are extremely untrustworthy. We just saw that situation with Netanyahu and Trump. Netanyahu signed all the paper documents. Yeah, we're not going to drop any bombs. We're cool with the Iran and blah, blah, blah. As soon as Trump left the room, the niggas dropped all the goddamn bombs in the world on the niggas. And it's kind of funny. We're not even hearing nothing about a war. Isn't a war every single day? You see what I'm saying? We're not even hearing reports about the war. That shit then disappeared within a week, So this nigga was out here promoting all this violence and playing with an M1000. An M1000, if you don't know, is I think like 2 inches of a full dynamite stick. Now you have an M1000. I also think you have the M80. When we were kids, motherfuckers had the 180. I would never play with no shit like that. I don't play with shit that blows up. Does that make any goddamn sense? No, you think, see, and that's what I'm saying. This whole thing of you think risk taking makes you somebody. It doesn't make you anybody. It makes you a dumbass. I saw a video the other day. Risk taking that doesn't have a benefit to it makes you a dumbass. You know, if you're sitting over here, you know, you chilling with the homies and you roll a little dice on the table, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? A little risk, you know. But to put 10,000 up on one play, you're a dumbass. You know, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the last 10,000 you got. You know, you don't make no moves like that. But if you got 100 mil, what the fuck is a 10,000 on a bet? You dig what I'm saying? So there's ways to look at it, and you need to know your personal situation. But if you're going to take risks, which you're going to have to take risks during the course of this life, make sure they're calculated risks. Make sure it is a mandated risk. Make sure there is a high level of benefit that can be gained after the risk is made. You know what I'm saying? Nigga take a risk fucking some pussy out here, especially nowadays. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy situation. But you don't go out here and, I mean, it's so ironic. The nigga's video is, I'm gonna blow a nigga up. I'm gonna blow your house up. And then 5 minutes later, this nigga's whole shit looks like, nigga, I saw that shit. I had just got done smoking a blunt. Nigga had sent me that video. Big, I was walking around the house screaming the whole day. You gotta understand, I'm an author. I'm born to be an author. You have to understand that. My name is Keenan Booker. This is my birthright. So the hands are very important, my dude. My dude. And the nigga shit was discombobulated. And let me show you something. This is awesome. I'm talking about this right now. The nigga was, and I want y'all, come on, y'all get up in these comments, man. Stop just listening to me like I'm goddamn Ross, like I'm fucking Bill O'Reilly or some shit. Put some shit up in the comments, man. Let's get engaged up in here. And the shit was phenomenal, bro, because it was a couple of cats I had to check about the whole situation. And it was like, man, you think that shit real? That shit could be AI. Oh, man, you think that shit, man? That shit was some clout chasing. You're a dumbass. What are you talking about? Do you think AI can be that? No, why would you even sign up to weakness and say that an AI that humans created can trick you? Why would you do that? Are you that weak mentally? Were you just automatically going to submit to a line of, oh yeah, no, that shit could have been AI, and you think he clout chasing a nigga blow up his hand for some views, nigga? Are you fucking serious? Like, bro, let me show you something. You use your hands more than any other part of your body throughout every single day of your life, and you don't even notice it because it's second nature. You know, you got to open up the refrigerator door. You know, you got to flick the remote control. You got to play a little PlayStation. You know, you got to take the garbage to the motherfucking to the street curb. You got to open up the door to your car. You got to grab the steering wheel. You know, people don't pay attention to the details. The hands are very fucking important. This ain't no goddamn elbow that you can just put a cast on and it's gonna heal. This ain't no little cartilage in the knuckle, nigga. The nigga shit was gone. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Have you lost your motherfucking mind? Okay? And this is the truth behind it. Like, I had to get at some of my homies like, nigga, that shit is real. And they were showing pictures of the nigga's fingers on the ground and shit. Oh, my God. And was it your own homies that was distributing the images, my nigga? And then what's really so cool, let me show you the hardest part of the metaphysics of all of this whole shit. You out here promoting all this violence, and you promoted the violence in front of the world, and then it's very clear that other people were influenced by your message, which was street violence, and they started doing all this street brawling, and then this Aaron the Pumper nigga came up, and then all these niggas come, we gonna run the fade, we gonna run the fade, we gonna run the fade. You have expressed that to the world duplicated your activity, the stars and the owners of the Matrix said, no, we do not need excess of violence that is not a controlled, a structured art like a boxing. And I'll even throw an MMA and a UFC up in there because those individuals are trained for what they do. And they train themselves, they exercise for what they do. And I've never heard of John Jones promote violence. I've never heard of Rampage promote violence. I've never heard Mike Tyson outside of the weigh-in for a boxing match promote violence. I've never heard Evander Holyfield. I've never heard George Foreman. I've never heard Muhammad Ali. I've never heard any of these other, even the motherfuckers that do it on the movies. I've never heard of Jet Li, Jackie Chan, fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme. I never heard Sylvester Stallone. I've never heard of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've never heard anybody promote violence, street violence on this level. And what's so crazy about when you fucking around with street violence, bro, all my real niggas that know that they went out here and did some knucking, you know, because see, my knuckles is fucked up because I done did some knucking, nigga. My fucking pinky knuckle right here is pushed back in, ain't even replaced itself yet. Because when you get to knucking and nigga, the bone structure on the skull is not soft. You hit a nigga's jaw too hard, nigga, your knuckles is bing in. And you don't even feel it during the course of the fighting. The fighting might happen 2-3 minutes. You dig what I'm saying? But you doing all this jamming with your fist and shit, nigga might move his head, boom, you hit the concrete. Wow! Your motherfucking fingers is fucked up. Your knuckles is fucked up when you street boxing, nigga. Let's just be fucking clear. The human bones is not soft. You dig what I'm saying? Okay, so the nigga blew his motherfucking shit in, and your homies is taking pictures of the goddamn shit. The coldest metaphysics of the whole shit is the pictures, B. And I'm not talking about the pictures of his hand. I'm talking about the pictures of dude when he was all together and his hand was straight and everything, and the pictures that they put out online, you know, promoting who he was as for extra when he was with no jumper. You could just see the hurt child in his face, B. Supposedly, the nigga's 39 years old. Supposedly. Okay? I don't know his age. But I was on the phone with the homie and we both looked it up and it said the nigga was 39. And you out here worried about fighting some nigga and off the back, bro? Bro, at 39, a nigga need to be goddamn walking to the mailbox, nigga, and picking up the paper in his front yard. You know, and fucking going back in his house and getting back to some business, nigga. Hop on some stock market shit or some shit like that. That's what 39, 40-year-old men are doing. What do you think the majority of white 40-year-old males are doing? What do you think the majority of Hispanic males at 40 years old are doing? What do you think the majority of Asian males are doing at the age of 40? They're not trying to rap. They're not trying to put together the band. And if they do, they're doing that shit in the basement. And they do that shit as a hobby on their spare time. They've already... we're going to get to that question right now. You know, they've already got their career set. They've been working in their career for 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? And they have a good resume. They can adjust. They can travel. They can take their... people out and all of that, you know, like for instance, I'm the son of art, you know, Robin Artisan is very fucking clear. I'm the son of art. So what do? Art, books, my books come out as art, nigga. Music is art, nigga. And now I am selling art. You see, but what's so cold when you're looking at the Salvador Dali? It says heaven. My foot right there, you see that? It says Heaven Canto. Heaven Canto number 3. You dig what I'm saying? This is real. This costs big money. You know, this is valued at about 5,000 right here. You dig what I'm saying? Okay, let me show you the other one. I love them. I love art. You know, I had to understand the game. You know, look at it. Look at the witches with the babies. You dig what I'm saying? It's crazy shit. Art, nigga. You understand? We explain what's going on in society. You know, the keys of heaven is right here. You know, the sleeping Ariadne, you know, straight out of the Vatican. But anyways, let's keep on going with this. Somebody asked me a question because y'all know I wrote Real Nigga Etiquette Voodoo Edition. So they want to know, did 607 Unc put the roots? You know, was the voodoo real that was said put on him? Nah, no. There was no voodoo. Stop it. Why do we have, and I'm not saying this to you, Orlando, you the homie, and I know that was just a question, so I'm not saying this to you. But I need to know why the Negro brain sees something and then automatically adjusts to some fucking other shit to apply to what they're seeing. Is it that hard to accept reality? It was very simple. And this is all that occurred. See, and let me show you what this is. Let me show you what this train of thought and how I got to this level of thought. Fucking around with gangster shit in the streets and you end up in that courtroom, nigga. And you see how these niggas operate with evidence. You see how these niggas operate with your name on the paper. You see how the judge is talking to the motherfucking lawyer. How the lawyer talking to the DA. How they all getting together, nigga. These motherfuckers all go to the same bar, drink liquor together, smoke cigar, nigga, and talk about how they put your soul in the depths of hell. Yeah, that's right. They got power over you. That's what's going on. You understand? It's phenomenal. So why do we take our brain and try to add shit to something you just seen? It's very clear. He had dynamite in his hand, and he was talking about blowing people up and fucking people up with the dynamite that he had in his hand. And lo and behold, is like my nigga, the Archangel Mike said. He said, boy, God got a way of humbling a nigga's ass. Yeah, we gonna humble you. And that's exactly what happened. He said, oh, I'm finna blow you niggas up. Yeah, I'm finna throw this shit at you niggas. Yeah, right here, nigga. 5 minutes later. Okay? Your whole shit is gone. You did it to yourself. It's called karma. It's called metaphysics. Okay, it's called you were putting shit out in the atmosphere that the rulers of the matrix do not want there. And so we must shut you down. And that's exactly what is going to occur. So supposedly, it wasn't just his hand. Supposedly the nigga is half blind now. And then his homeboy that was in the car, supposedly, they was in the car when they lit it up and was supposed to throw it out the window or whatever. And supposedly his homeboy, half of his face blew off, his ear blew off, and his eyeball blew out of the socket. Supposedly, the nigga's homeboy when the shit happened. You know what I'm saying? And then I just saw a report where niggas is talking about, oh, the white man put out, bad dynamite sticks for you niggas because there's an attack on the black community. What, bro, let me show you something. This is the clearest part about life. It's all in one word. It's called decisions. It's really that simple. You don't have to buy dynamite. I would see me personally. I've never bought dynamite, not even for my sons. Have they blown up dynamite? Have we went out there and done stuff for the July 4th? Yeah, of course. It's an experience. They need to be exposed to that type of shit. They need to understand what is danger, what to do, what not to do, blah, blah, blah. But will I waste my money on dynamite? Nigga, hell no. I'm not gonna waste my money on no motherfucking dynamite. For what? You know what I'm saying? I don't think money is something that you need to be playing games with. Therefore, I don't gamble. I don't think money is something that you need to be throwing away. So if you're going to be getting something out of it, get something out of it. You're not getting anything out of buying dynamite. I mean, buying fireworks is what I meant to say. I keep on calling the shit dynamite and the reason why I keep calling it dynamite, because what he had was dynamite. It was called the M1000. It's about 2 inches of a full dynamite stick. And what people don't know, for those who have traveled across the country, when you drive through, when you're on the highway, major highways like a Route 66 or a Route 20 or a Route 10 or a Route 85 or whatever the fuck, when you drive through mountains, guess what they use to blow up the mountain in order to build the highway to go through that mountain? They use dynamite sticks, and they use about a ton of dynamite in order to blow up the mountain so they can drive so they can build the highway, the 4-lane, 6-lane highway to go through the mountain. So why in the fuck would you use something of that massive power to play with in your backyard? So this is where we have another level of dumbass. Okay. And you have to understand that, when you get out of high school, nigga, Your biggest responsibility, especially during the course of your 20s, is to educate. Whether you're being educated scholastically and academically by the universities, which I do promote. I will tell you, yeah, go to the University of South Carolina, go to UCLA, go to NYCU. Go to the universities all across the country. Don't waste your fucking time with the Negro rapper advice. Don't waste your time with the gangster advice, because they have nothing and they will have nothing for the rest of their days, because they were raised by parents who didn't love them, and they're going to teach you to have nothing, because misery loves company. And that's just the point. You have to understand, like I had to tell my homeboy, it's like, look, dog. And he was like, man, whenever I take my sons to go see his cousins, he just runs up on them and starts fighting them and starts beating them up. I said, yeah, he's going to. You want to know why? Because your child was vaginally born and it was breastfed. Those children over there weren't. So your child sees those children as children to remove. Okay, because they are of bad seed and bad decision making, and they have the fucking can of worms in their fucking brain, and they don't got no self-control. They come out of very disgusting environments, and they're worthless. And that's just what it is. And until you start to understand that every human is not just a human, and there are individuals out here who are labeled to be worthless, then we can start developing a better society. Then we can start getting some fine tuning and some refining and some modification when it comes to the black race. We don't need to be talking about, oh boy, you smell like you got Similac on your breath, because shouldn't one baby have no motherfucking Similac on their motherfucking breath? And any nigger talking like that needs to be removed. It's simple. You feed your child the Enfamil and the fucking Similac and all this other shit that is a degenerate pose. Like, for instance, let's look at the metaphysics of that. When a woman is feeding her child at the breast, she holds the child close, so the child feels the warmth and the protection, and this is their first food that they get, and they're getting it for their mother. And then when the mother's nipples get sucked, there's oxytocin that starts running in her brain that makes her fall in love with the child more. Do you understand that? So then the protection clause is something that gets renewed and gets refreshed every time she breastfeeds the baby. Okay. So, and then not only that, what is the baby doing? The baby is sucking the tip of a woman. Okay. So then when that child goes older, what is he going to look for the food from? He's going to look for food from the woman, whether that be sexual food, whether that be literal food, whatever the fuck. It is a form of feeding that goes down with that child. Now, let's look at it. When you put a bottle in front of the baby, you put a bottle in the baby's mouth that has the Enfamil and the Similac. What does a bottle look like? A baby bottle is a phallic symbol. And that's why these niggas end up like Kanye with his cousin, right? That's why these niggas end up in jail, because they're looking for phallic symbols to be fed. They're not looking for a woman's breast to be fed. So who did that? Who enforced that line? Huh? The fucking inadequate, neglecting mother is the one that did that. She set her child up to be a fucking bird from infancy. You see how this shit works? You see, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, fucking awesome. The metaphysics, man, history, biology, all of this shit is very fucking important, bro. You dig what I'm saying? So, and that was the strongest metaphysics with the whole 4 extra situation, was the way you can see the hurt child on his face now. Whenever you look at his pictures, I don't even see big 4 extra running the fade, all of that. I just see a hurt kid. But I see that because I know what hurt children look like, because I've read a lot of material about what goes on in people's homes. You dig what I'm saying? And that material comes from therapists and psychologists who have been in the field for over 40, 50 years. And then they write books on their case studies. And that's what's so phenomenal about the nonfiction book genre, is that the majority of the people who write books in the nonfiction zone with me, okay, nonfiction, they write their books based on case studies that they have seen for the past 40 years. These are confirmed situations of reality. That's the point. Therefore, I automatically despise motherfuckers who don't read because you don't know shit about your environment. Therefore, you're automatically a victim. And I don't kick it with no victim ass niggas. You dig what I'm saying? That's all there is to it. If you don't know how to protect yourself and you allow victimization, which we have done for the past 20 years because we have the native who is a dumbass running around here thinking they know some fucking shit and thinking they got an opinion talking about how the fuck they feel. I don't give a fuck about how you feel, nigga. I feel this shirt that I'm wearing is a white shirt. Is that a fact? No, it's not a fact. So fuck what you feel. Fuck what you feel. You know? I feel like the sleeping Ariadne right here should be a black woman, right? Well, have you said conquering and built the Vatican in order to do that? No, you haven't. You haven't loved your male enough for him to kick the world's ass. You didn't do that. So you don't get to be up in the Vatican gift shop, nigga. You don't get to do that because you haven't earned it. Everything is earned. You dig what I'm saying? Now, why is this earned over here? The keys of heaven, because I did the kicked out of heaven. They said, oh, this nigga did the kicked out of heaven. We got to go ahead and repair the situation. Get this nigga the keys of heaven, nigga. You dig what I'm saying? Okay? We had to do it through the metaphysics, the keys of heaven. St. Peter, his basilica, keys of heaven. Y'all want to see something else? Let me show you something else. This is also titled as Fine Art, but this is done by an unknown artist. This is a picture of St. Peter's Basilica. This is a drawing, a painting. Can you get that detail? You know, this is still considered fine art. This is called a triptych, okay, because it's three of them, and they got ones that are two, you know, and they got panels and shit. There's a lot of shit in the art world. I'm not gonna go over all of that. I might start doing lessons about it on the moneyreligion.locals. I told you niggas to sign up. Nobody didn't signed up, so you're not serious and you're not trying to be into the billionaire jargon and understanding. Now, see, one thing about wordplay is that once you start fucking around with a specific type of jargon and you understand specific words that are used inside of an industry, the doors to that industry actually fly wide open to you. And, you know, because you have done the due diligence. You see what I'm saying? So you niggas gotta understand what the due diligence is. But St. Peter rules over the keys of heaven. And there's been a lot of St. Peter that then came through lately. You dig what I'm saying? I think it was July 2nd or July 4th, one of those days. The whole St. Peter energy came through with also St. Paul. It was in combination. As a matter of fact, somebody liked that picture of the saint on my Facebook right now. If you don't got my Facebook, you need to get onto the Facebook because I do put daily updates there. And I do put a lot of information right there for those who know me and those who want to stay money religion, because this has turned into money religion. And guess what? It wasn't done by no hardcore force. It was done by basically invitation. You know what I'm saying? And then things got put into my hands when it comes to large responsibility of dealing with some people with some large position and power. You dig what I'm saying? Which I will always keep that silent and anonymous. You dig what I'm saying? We're not going to go into no details on who is who and what is what. But just know that the stuff that you see on my shorts, when it comes to my videos on the YouTube, the watches, I'm about to load up some more shit right now. The watches, the diamonds and shit, all of those diamonds are over 10, 20 carats. You know, those are locked up in vaults. You'll never see them online. They've never been online before until I uploaded it on my YouTube page. You know, that's including with the watches that I just put up there that actually comes from a back vault. I'm not going to mention location or no shit like that. But you hear the numbers for the prices of the watches on the video. So yeah, it is a very disgusting situation. No, there was no voodoo that was used for his hand. 607 Ankh does not have no power in no voodoo lane. He's a fucking retard. You know, 607 Unc is only up there because he's ugly as fuck. And they're trying to say, oh, this is what the average Negro looks like to the world. A fucking degenerate. That's what I'm saying. Like, the black race doesn't even have a consciousness of what I do out here in the public reflects upon my entire race and how we are defined and judged. Okay, and there will always be judgment, and that's why you ain't, you know, we're not gonna let you mate with our daughters. That's why we're not gonna support your businesses, because you promote a lot of levels of retard and think that that's going to assist you in some format. You don't see none of no goofball ass shit going on with no Chinese and the shit that they put up online. You don't see no goofball shit going on in the depths of Germany and what the fuck they putting online. As a matter of fact, if we talk about what's going on in Germany and Italy and the UK and all of that right now, it is nothing but revolution that they're over there promoting on. They getting down in the middle of the streets. You know, there was one scene where there was all these Indians everywhere, all up in Ireland. That woman put on her kilt and got her goddamn bagpipe and marched down the street by her goddamn self. How dare you come to my fucking land with your fucking bullshit? You know, I'm going to do what we do in my culture right here. You're in my shit. You understand? I don't go to your shit playing no fucking bagpipe, nigga. What the fuck is wrong with you? You keep your funky ass shit in your fucking country. You know? Yeah, bro, why the fuck do you need to go to somebody else's country? How come you can't congregate with your own and build your own? Because you're inadequate psychologically. And the reason why you're inadequate is because you don't read. The reason why Europeans are ahead of everybody is because they had the first mass production printing press in the 1400s. That's why. That's why. Okay? China operated off of the block press when it comes to production until the 1700s. They didn't get into mass production until the 1700s when it comes to literature. So the first race on this planet that had mass production literature and also enforced their women to be educated are Europeans. And that's why they can kick your ass everywhere across this goddamn planet. When it comes to America, let's look at it. Go to your Yale and go to your Harvard. Go to these universities and what it will say? It will say established, nigga, 1798. Your ass is still picking cotton. Established, nigga, 1856. White females wasn't even up in these universities until the 1900s. So the white male alone has a 200, 300 year run on everybody on this planet. And that's why they don't give a fuck about what technology you talking about over there in your land. We will drop the bomb on you niggas because you don't know nothing about the motherfucking secrecy, nor do you know about the level of unification and the level of intel and technology that these niggas got, the white man. You lost your fucking mind. Okay, they kick everybody. Let's do this again. They kick everybody's ass because they are advanced in the mass production of literature. You want to know one thing that made me write books? Is when I said, you know, stars, we're gonna go ahead and go down this book career lane. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. And the stars said, okay, let's do it. Let me show you something. Boom! They opened up the scene. You know what I saw? Oceans and oceans and oceans of books. And that's what it is. All these books that you see behind me are nonfiction. Tons of them. So there's no excuse. The only excuse is your laziness. Okay? You know, the only excuse is your laziness and your lack to apply interest. You don't have any interest in anything. You know, interest is what got Christopher Columbus across the sea. They said, man, I've been looking at these maps, these Moors, been drawing these maps and shit. Crispus Attucks and all these niggas been drawing these maps and shit. And they say there's some land way over here. Maybe we can get some gold. Maybe we can get some slaves. I don't know. Maybe we can get some shit. What do you think, Queen? And she was like, you know, I'm chilling. I got a fleet of ships here. How about this? You know, we're not at war. Everything is beautiful. How about this? I'll go ahead and give you 3 ships. It's not going to hurt me to lose 3 ships. We'll see what you can do. They went across the water and found the world and kicked the world's ass because they were interested. They say, hey, man, there's an X on the map. the treasure island. We got to go find some treasure. And is anybody hunting for any treasure? No. So don't you ever complain about the architecture of penitentiaries. Don't you ever complain about the development of weapons. Don't you ever complain about the development of drugs and biochemistry and, chemical warfare, because you don't read and you have no counterattack. And it's not even about a counterattack. That takes a little bit more than just, some reading and some unison with some people. You need far more concentration, but at least you can educate yourself to defend yourself. And you don't do this, So the white man will drop the bomb on your ass in the middle of Philly. They will drop the bomb on your ass in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you niggas ain't gonna do shit about it but fucking cry. If I wanna write you a check or not, I can. Maybe I could write you a check. Maybe I don't feel like writing you a check. Maybe I want to go buy some art from Mr. Booker. We're gonna spend $50 million on a Picasso. I'm not even gonna say Picasso because those are the names that you're used to. We're gonna spend $50 million on a Jackson Pollock. Okay, nigga, do you know who Jackson Pollock is? Go look that shit up. We're gonna spend $50 million on a Mark Rothko for you niggas. Nah, we ain't gonna give you no motherfucking reparations, nigga. I need my walls decorated, nigga. We're gonna put some Hieronymus Bosch on the fucking wall, nigga. Hear what you fucking talking about, So yeah, let's go to this one. That wave, baby, was cracking. Did I hear about the Philly trash strike situation? That is definitely some medieval shit. I mean, everything is medieval, bro. What you gotta understand is, I heard about it and what's going on. I mean, and then LL Cool J said he wasn't gonna perform. That was to push the issue forward. That was very responsible for you to do. I definitely salute that. But what we have to understand is and one reason I had to salute that is because rappers of today don't take any type of political stance on anything or don't try to assist anybody within these areas, you dig? So it gets very ugly, it gets very nasty on what can happen when you don't have a frontline support, and everybody's just enjoying their own finances and things have become very individualistic, But what's going on in Philly? That's not the first time they had a trash strike. They had another trash strike, I think, in like 1985, and I do believe also in 1985 was the same year that they had a prior flood. When it comes to what just happened in San Antonio, Texas, they had another flood in San Antonio, Texas, the same fucking style of shit where people died and all of this shit. It's gonna happen like that. You know what I'm saying? If people, you can't be in New Orleans, or in locations where there's heavy rivers and heavy stuff, and not expect for some dumbass to go down. It's very clear and obvious that we have entities or some form of being on this planet that does not like humans. It's very clear. And humans do not have enough ferociousness to discover what the fuck is going on. There is no unified effort, and for one to be a leader, as you have a long history, not only the black race, but the human race has a long history of slaughtering your leaders. You have a long history of trying to trap them in the case of the booty. And that's not what happened. Have they not all been caught up in cases of the booty? That is the black woman that you're so-called praising and mother goddess and all that got your monkey ass locked up. All of them. That Nature Boy, black woman got him locked up. York, Malachi York, black woman got him locked up. Fucking who is the other nigga? Polite, black woman got him locked up. You know what I'm saying? Supposedly Khalid Muhammad, black woman got him killed. Supposedly Betty X set up Malcolm X. Come on now, man. This shit is a long, long, long history. So you've destroyed it yourself. You know what I'm saying? The prior generations have destroyed it. There's too much MK Ultra bullshit going on. There's too much spying. There's too much espionage. There's too much set up this and set up that. And it's just fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So the buddy right here says 607 Onk is like the Flavor Flav of the conscious community. He is not of no conscious community, and there is no conscious community. There is no more conscious community. You have dissolved it. It is very embarrassing. I don't even like putting those two words together. There's no conscious community. Don't even represent that. Don't you see what has happened over the past 10, 20 years here? You know, you have embarrassed yourselves with shootouts, with, you know, with the molesting of children and all this other shit. You've done bad business practices. You've all been taken to court. There's no such thing as a conscious community. It is extremely embarrassing. And I'm not saying this to you, Gems for Hymns, but I'm just saying overall, the Negro brain does not understand embarrassment. Therefore, your race will never evolve into anything because you don't even comprehend that in order for you to grow or evolve, that first of all, you're only 150 years old when it comes to culture versus all the other cultures on the planet that are over 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years old. You know, so you're nothing but the whining baby. You're the whining child, you know, and that's why all the races look at the black race and be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go to the baby. Let's change the baby's diaper. And oh, the baby's so cute. And all this other shit. You see what I'm saying? Because you're a fucking child. And then when we look at the 150 years of culture that supposedly the black race has developed, they did not develop that shit. That shit has been indirectly controlled by oligarchs and individuals that are behind the puppets. You understand? And the puppets have directed the mind of the black culture in several different ways in order to buy products and to push consumerism in whatever way that we want to, because us at the top, we're going to eat just like our great grandparents ate off of the cornfields that you niggas was picking. They designed clothes off the cotton field you niggas was picking. You understand me? Don't you understand there are families on this planet, man, that are still spending money from the 1700s, bro? They're still spending money from the 1800s. They ain't even cracked into the 1900s, nigga. They still spending World War II money on a nigga. They still spending Civil War money. They still spending Henry County plantation money on you niggas while you think you doing something with a fucking Hermes bag. With a Hermes is how it's enunciated. You know, you still think you doing something. You're not doing anything. You know, niggas be thinking they doing something with a Bugatti or a Maybach or, you know, or a Lambo. Them cars have been out since the early 1900s, nigga. You just found out about them yesterday, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. You know, and that's just what it is. There is no conscious community. It is very embarrassing to even refer to anything that occurred with so-called black revolution over the past 10 years on this internet thing. I mean, think about your child. Think about your child. Say your child says, oh, I want to know, you know, niggas is at the bottom. They complaining on the TikTok. They say the white man this, the white man that. And your child goes on great journey during their revolutionary ages in the 20s, in the early 20s. And I want to figure out what's going on with the world, because now you're in the world, you're out of high school. You got a big shit to face, right? So they get online and they go see the stories and say, oh, well, what happened to Marcus Garvey? I heard about this guy. And he does a hardcore study. He said, the end result of Marcus Garvey was his best friend was working for the feds and set him up. And then we go over here to, you know, Noble Drew Ali, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we don't know how this nigga died. His so-called disappeared. The shit is shrouded in mystery. Okay, so then we go over here, Elijah Muhammad, and over here, the NOI, and all this other shit. Oh, and then Malcolm X created all the mosques across the country, and Malcolm X was ferocious, you know what I'm saying? And then what happened? Some booty showed up. Malcolm X get to talking about the goddamn Elijah Muhammad was over here fucking on a 16-year-old. And then all hell breaks loose. Then there's an assassination, and Malcolm X goes down, right? Oh, what happened with the revolutionary groups? With the Angela Davis? Oh, Angela Davis still alive right now. Yeah, she's sucking on white girl cunt right now. Angela Davis is married to a white woman when she was supposed to be revolutionary with the Black Power people, okay? And then supposedly I've heard that she put Huey P. Newton on the crack, right? Huey P. Newton died on a drug deal in the alley in Oakland, right? Are these not the facts? Is this embarrassment? This is embarrassing. The whole shit. You understand? Okay? We ain't even got past the 60s and 70s yet. And the shit is fucking embarrassing. Okay, so then we look at we look at the 70s, we look at the 80s. Okay, ain't nothing happening. You know, it's supposed to be revolution, and these niggas talking about the funk and the music and the funk this and the funk that and the funk this and the funk that, right? So we keep it going. Okay, and during the whole 80s, the crack came in. Now we got something to blame. We blame the crack, and we're still dealing with the effects of the crack epidemic to this day, because the crack epidemic just turned into the pill epidemic. And the pills, niggas didn't know what they were doing, didn't know what it was. They're called opioids. That's opium. You were taking heroin in the fucking pills. The Adderall and all that shit. I ain't touched none of that shit. No Xanax, no Adderall, no handlebars, no none of that fucking Oxycontin, none of that shit. Never had it. Never will. You know, I done popped a couple of X pills and all of that shit back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing made me stop fucking around with Bone Thugs, is because this nigga, man, I used to fuck with Bone Thugs heavy until they came out with the Ecstasy song, and I just knew that it was marketing. It wasn't a system of, we decided to make this song. No, you got paid to make that song to market a street drug. Is how that shit worked. So I stopped fucking around with that zone. You know what I'm saying? Pac got killed and he was born as a Black Panther and he tried to fight the revolution, and that shit is all shrouded in mystery. We don't know who did what, but supposedly he was killed because because he was trying to build the revolution. He was trying to build the thug life revolution. Man, bro, it's embarrassing. Khalid Muhammad gets found killed, supposedly poisoned. Like, it's so embarrassing. You know, Clarence X13 got killed. We don't know what happened to that. That's all shrouded up in mystery. You know, like, bro, it's embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Shows that you can't stand on your own too as a race. You know, it also shows, you know, the inadequacy, because let me show you where the big part is at. We've had the Louis Armstrongs. We've had, you know, the Jackie Robinsons. You know, we've had the Cassius Clay, the Muhammad Ali's. You know, we've had big money, Sonny Liston. We've had the Refrigerator and all of these famous basketball players, Wilt Chamberlain and all them from back in the day, famous football players, famous baseball players, all the way from back in the day. And they were making millions and millions of dollars. Now, how come Black people have been facing all of these conditions, and every generation we're so-called looking at revolution, but we're making trillions of dollars, okay? And a nigga can't put together a company that, you know, creates refrigerators and washers and dryers. You know, we can't fucking, you know, we can't make a canned food company. There are a couple of canned food companies that are in the Walmart that are owned and created by Black people. You know what I'm saying? I will admit that. What's the name of one of them? The orange can with the green label on it, and they sell collard greens in the can. I forgot the name of the company though. But there's a couple of them, but we don't know who they are. You know, and the reason why is because they have to keep it quiet, because you niggas make such a loud noise about a bunch of goddamn nothing. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we see with everything that didn't happen. Diddy was loud noise, nothing happened. Faux Extra was loud noise, nothing happened. You know, the whole shit. See, when you're so hype about the beginning of something, that's when you know it's going to crash and burn. Everything that has hype in the beginning always ends up with crashing and burning. So when we look at what happened with the Tesla vehicles, and there was so much hype about Tesla this and Tesla that, and then what happened? We have to do a recall. The cars are blowing up. The cars are taking over, because you niggas is all full of the hype and not investigating like a dog would do. You're blinded by hype. That's why I don't fuck with that hype shit. Is because there's always a bow and arrow. There's always a 223 coming to shoot at your ass when you up in that fucking hype. It's called the mania. It's called insanity. And that's why I put the mania up in the volume 2, and so you can understand the deep-rooted science and spirituality that is embedded inside of business operation, especially when it comes to releasing a product and the excitement of the crowd. Okay, now you can make other people excited, whatever. Just make sure that there's no bullshit in the end. Okay, because that's what a party is, right? A party is, yeah, nigga, we finna go to the club. We finna go to the club, nigga. It's the shit, nigga. And then you're getting drunk, and then we're lit, and then we're high and intoxicated, and then there's a fight, then there's a shootout in the end. Say there's no fight or no shootout at all, but you did too much excessive drinking. You didn't eat enough food to soak up all your liquor. So now you over here stumbling. You can't drive, and you try to drive. You hit the curb. You fuck your tire up. Let's say you make it home. You make it home, and everything is good. Maybe you eat something before you go to sleep. You go to sleep, and then you wake up with a fucking jackhammer fucking headache going on, because the end result, when you're hype in the beginning, has no good, and the end result is no good at all times. Because you had a whole bunch of hype blinded minions running down the same funnel hole, and it just ended up into a crash collision situation. You see what I'm saying? You blew up, you self-detonated. Okay, is what happened here. You see what I'm saying? So niggas need to stay away from the dumb ass, my nigga. Do not follow the crowd. Do not get hype. Everything that starts out with hype ends up with a fucking crash, ends up with a downfall that is not going to be beneficial or good for anybody. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, man, if y'all got any comments, go ahead and do that. We still got the sale going. You get all 9 books from You get all 9 books: The Kicked Out of Heaven, Volume 1, 2, 3, The Black Man's Bible, The Ethereal Law Paperback, and you also get the 4 books: Real Nigga Etiquette, Real Nigga Etiquette Voodoo Edition, and you also get the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women PDF for $100 total, and you'll never be able to get no level of game that is telling you about how society is operating and giving you keys. There's enough game in all my literature where every zodiac sign can pick out different shit that fits with them to operate within society and move. That is male, female, and that is inclusive with all races. Okay? Let's keep it clear. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't get it, and that is just the truth. A lot of people don't get what the system is, and they need to get what the system is. Yeah, all for $100. That's crazy. Yeah, the nigga right here, the homie put it up here. All for $100. That's crazy. You're not gonna get that nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? And this is the good reason. See, there's no hype here, and you get good results. See, when there's no hype, there's good results. When there's a lot of hype, there's shitty results, and that is just the bottom line to how that system works. So don't get hype about nothing. These rapper niggas and these fucking liars out here, man. Let me tell you something, man. There's only one thing on this planet that has destroyed the human race. There's only one thing. Lies. That's why I had to do this literature. Lies, bro. Lies have destroyed the entirety of the human race. And we're sitting over here lying to each other every goddamn day like there's some permission to do it. And usually, I've let a couple of people slide, but when you come around me with bullshit and lies, B, get ready for the lynching, B. I'm putting on the hangman mask, and you don't know when the rope is going to be tied up, when the noose will be created. You will never know. So don't come around me with them fucking lies, because I'll never do that with you. And that's why people have to overlook me, because it's a reality. Except for I just got invited onto a podcast with Zuna, which is the African that's on TikTok that's putting his foot up the African's ass about your fucking inadequacies, nigga, versus the world. And I definitely shot him an email. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm the African American version of you. You need to understand that I got these books. We got this game. We need to go in. So he invited me on the podcast. Hopefully that's going to be a beautiful situation. I got to get some more finalizations on that. But we're going forward with it. In reality, I'm definitely in a position where I'd like to leave all black subjects alone. I'm definitely shifting into art dealership and art brokerage, which a lot of people think the lower level minds the 99 percenters and the fast food eaters think that that's a fucking hobby. No, it's not a hobby, nigga. When you're an art broker and you're dealing with the lane that I'm dealing with and the type of clientele that I'm dealing with, you can sell one painting and be good for 3 years, 3, 4, 5 years, off of the commission. Just one. Okay. And they're looking for them. All right. But you don't understand that. I didn't even understand that until, I got pushed down this lane by some people that I've met out here in Vegas. And, it's a beautiful situation. So, y'all niggas ain't never seen me do no faulty shit. I don't got no bad business practices, and I don't lie. You know what I'm saying? I don't sell false product, So that's what we're dealing with when it comes to the paintings, and hopefully it's going to be very beneficial. Will I stay on this whole YouTube thing? Most likely not. This is a very I'll tell you the truth. I don't feel appreciated here. They say go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. And this is not a zone of, maybe I've run my course. I've done a lot of talking over the years, for number one, for number two, there's not going to be any change in, the mass behavior of people. So that's not going to happen from me putting up a little hour and a half video. And I've done it consistently for years, for over 10 years. And, I do believe in fine product. I do believe in making people happy with fine product. And that's why I create, the Bugatti books. I create the Versace books. You see what I'm saying? I create the Versace music. He has much Versace swagger. You understand? I think I'm going to play that song on the way out. You dig what I'm saying? So that is what has occurred here. So I don't know how longer I'm going to be around here. Once things start picking up with this new business I've created, then I'm probably going to go ahead and cut this realm, and I might be taking off all of my literature off of the Amazon and all of that because it's not appreciated, and if I see something that doesn't work or it worked for a while, then that means it's just run its course, and it's okay for it to do that. The sun doesn't stay in the sky forever. The sun runs its course every single day. It goes up and then it goes down, and that's just how existence works. So you have to know where your pinnacle is at and when things are starting to go downhill, and you have to save yourself. You know what I'm saying? You only see people brag about getting to the top of Mount Everest, or the Mount Alps. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear nothing about them. Niggas might have a video about them going up, but I ain't never seen nobody post no video about them going down Mount Alps. They talk about they hitting their pinnacle point. You know what I'm saying? My rosary beads, what does it matter about what a color of a Jesus is? See, let's talk about this. The brother put up, I want to get rosary beads, but most got the white Jesus on them. So what? What you mad? The African tribes couldn't create a black Jesus? You mad African Americans couldn't create a black Jesus? They want to take somebody else's Jesus and try to impose a color on them. Jesus was in a Saudi Arabia location, Jerusalem and all that area. All those individuals in that area are brown skinned. So what the fuck does it matter? And for a person to say that, oh yeah, he got the white Jesus on him, you're expressing hate. Therefore, you haven't read the Kicked Out of Heaven Volume 3, because the entity of what we call the Jesus was the perfect, and this is an entity that's been in your mind since you were born, just like other entities. Since you were born, you question yourself, oh, can a human live without its head? There's saints for that. Can a human be able to fly? You ask yourself these things when you're a toddler. You say, is there a perfect person that has done anything? That's why they could give you the Jesus at that very young age, and you latch on to it. You see what I'm saying? Now let's go into it. You're expressing anger, you're expressing hate, and this is one reason why I stay the fuck away from niggas, is because they always talk some hate, but you don't express it. You don't go out and skin nobody. You ain't boiling nobody. You ain't doing shit. You don't defend your race, bro. You don't avenge anybody that's been killed. You didn't avenge anybody. Anybody that's been slaughtered. When it comes to our famous people, when it comes to the George Floyd, you've done nothing. There's been no revenge. There's been no avenging. You didn't avenge Martin Luther King when they said, when the feds told you That, oh yeah, we smothered the nigga in the hospital bed. Did you avenge? You did nothing. So your anger is fucking nothing. And that's the truth about it. That's why I stay the fuck away from motherfuckers who is half-ass. You don't do shit about your goddamn anger. You see, I didn't know what's going on in this civilization. And I didn't know why I got an Irish name and an Anglo-Saxon name. So what did I do? I figured it out. I did something about it, nigga. Now, you niggas don't do nothing about your fucking anger. You niggas don't do nothing about your fucking questions. You just march down the street and throw your fucking fist up, march around in a goddamn circle and think some shit gonna get done. Nigga, ain't shit gonna get done. Nobody is obligated to give you shit, nigga. That is the bottom line. So all of this false ass anger you think you got, how about this? Go put on a t-shirt, go wear some bandanas, and get a snub nose 38 and go kill another nigga like you niggas do with your fucking anger because you don't avenge shit. Name me one motherfucker that's been killed in this country, black, whether they're a Hollywood star, football star, basketball star, or a musician, that has been killed by some type of CTE disease, some indirect system from the white boy, and you avenged that. Tell me, name the person that you avenged, bro. Until then, shut the fuck up. I'm waiting for a name. I'm waiting for a name in these comments because you ain't avenged nobody. You didn't avenge Nat Turner. You didn't avenge Ida B. Wells. You didn't avenge Sojourner Truth. You didn't avenge no goddamn body, nigga. It's been 400, 500 years on the clock. So it don't matter if there's a white Jesus on no cross, bro. Because you ain't doing nothing but expressing anger that you ain't finna do shit about. See, niggas are not A to Z. Niggas are like A to fucking F, A to G, A to H. If you can get past B, I'll take my shit A to Z, nigga. I know these women got a secret world operating that men don't know shit about. So what did I do? I've been maintaining homes and women and children for 20 fucking years. I've seen many of things that these women are operating. You niggas can't even control your woman. Your woman kick your ass in that court. They slam the hammer, all your money gone. What happened? Who is it? Some nigga that some basketball nigga just married some broad, black woman, and that black woman divorced him with 6 months, trying to claim 50% of his shit. Now, let me show you something. White women can do that. You want to know why white women can do that? Because they built this country. White women can do that. They can play those games because they can feed each other. There is a reliance structure. Black race ain't got no reliance structure. You ain't did enough on this planet to claim those type of ranks, my nigga. So what you think you doing, all that extra anger shit, I'm not no angry motherfucker. I'm not gonna be no anger. Yeah, I just got hyped for a minute, nigga. I'm over here drinking the Bang. Okay, the Bang drink, nigga. Yo, the orange ones and the purple ones are fire. You know what I'm saying? But that's the truth. You ain't did nothing about your anger. So your anger is irrelevant. That's why if 4-5 cops come up on your ass, stop resisting, and lock your monkey ass up. You know? Let me see. You know? Yeah. So that's just the reality to it. So once again, all 10 books, Kicked Out of Heaven, Volume 1, 2, 3, The Black Man's Bible, The Ethereal Law paperback, and then you get the 4 ebooks all for $100 right now. Y'all niggas go get the raffle tickets that are at theblackmansbible.com. I'm about to check it right now because we gonna check to see if we have a winner to announce for the Black Man's Bible, or you got to wait for this Friday coming up. We're going to be doing another raffle for the Kicked Out of Heaven. And then every second Friday and fourth Friday of the month, we'll be doing the raffle for the Millennium DVDs. You could buy tickets for raffles of all of these items at the same time. And then for the Salvador Dali right here, we're doing a raffle at the end of the month. Okay, but remember, all tickets got to be bought, all tickets got to be sold, and then you can purchase as many tickets as you like. So there we go. This is the Salvador Dali. This is worth about anywhere, like I said, 3,000, about 5,000. You dig what I'm saying? This is the appraised value of it. And I have art appraisers in pocket. You know what I'm saying? That I talk to regularly. So that's just what it is. Let me see here. I'm reading some of these comments. Will there ever be a Kicked Out of Heaven Volume 4? I'm glad you asked that question. Let's go down that route real quick before I close it out. No, there will never be a Kicked Out of Heaven Volume 4. I am redoing it, so there will be a hardcover that comes out. When it comes out, I don't know. I'm busy doing other things. And like I said, the Kicked Out of Heaven wasn't appreciated. The Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women is not appreciated. I don't operate in a format where I feel as if I have to force feed somebody. I don't force feed nobody shit. I'm not going to hop up on no stage and try to force feed you that I'm the super OG and I make all the music in the world and I got all the bitches and I push 100 kilos in a night and I kill 30 niggas a day and all this other old dumbass shit. I'm not finna be doing no force feed, my nigga. I don't need it. It's either you know how to identify what you like and you're going to appreciate what you like. But see, that is a to Z level of thinking that only Europeans have. So the majority of black people really don't know what to appreciate. And that's very obvious because, you look at who you support and look at what happens with the end result. Y'all supported the Kanye West, okay? And then look at what happens with the end result. This nigga was a pedo before you could even legally be the age to be a pedo. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? This is what you niggas support. The collective mind. And I'm not saying specifically my fans. We're talking about the collective mind here. You know what I'm saying? You support the Umar Johnson, and look at what happened. You got scammed. There's nothing. You supported the brother Polite, and then look at what happened. He ended up being a child molester, and you niggas want to fucking stick your head in the fucking sand like an ostrich, like you wasn't over here supporting this nigga. Yeah, I've been here the whole entire time, and I put out the most collegiate information that any black male has ever done in Western society, and it wasn't appreciated because I wasn't sitting up here. I didn't present it with a whole bunch of anger and hatred. I presented it with a level of understanding the matrix and the maze so you can move through the maze and be successful with your wins. That is what this is for. It wasn't for you to go out here and, I'm gonna beat my chest like some big ass King Kong and I'm gonna shoot everybody up because I'm the double OG. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody is looking at you. You are a pebble in the fucking sand and you will die and you will rot like every other human on this fucking planet. The maggots will go in and out your nose bone and your eye socket. Do you understand that? Okay. So let's go in on a couple of these questions. Now, there will be the hardcover. I'm going to reproduce the hardcover, which is going to be updated and have a lot more information in it, and a lot more. Now that I'm definitely in the realm of the art, there's going to be far more greater art in the literature of the Kicked Out of Heaven Volume 1, 2, and 3. Each volume will probably be a little bit more thicker than what the paperback is because of the new information, the new updates. And then I'm also going to be putting out the hardcover for the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women, but it may be years and years before I do that. So go ahead and get them now. You know what I'm saying? Because I might be taking them off. I'm going to be taking them off of Amazon probably pretty soon. The Kicked Out of Heaven, at least, and because I'm fucking around with big bodies now. I'm fucking around with people with power. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need to be trying to appease people who don't got power. Shit. And they ain't trying to get power when I'm showing them what to do to get power. Like, what the fuck is that about? You know what I'm saying? They don't want power. And let me go in on that a little bit real quick before I get to your question, Gene Cole. And I definitely appreciate all of the donations that Gene Cole has put down. Nobody else has even tried to compete with the brother because niggas don't know nothing about no competition. Niggas don't know nothing about the friendly battle that allows us to enhance our masculinity. Niggas, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, what I was saying was, let me see here. Let me put some shit up in here real quick. Let me put the links up in here. I'm not going to write any more books, period. And I had a long list of a lot of very important information that I was going to put together for, you know, my authorship and my career in that lane. And I don't feel as if the information was appreciated. I did see a lot of people copy, a lot of people try to mimic, a lot of people try to bite off my subject matter over the years. There was no defense put down. There was no strategy put down to stop or to even put these people in the expose position of their mimicry, you know. And so why should I, bro? You know, go where you're celebrated. Don't go where you're tolerated. You know what I'm saying? I love Las Vegas. Las Vegas has celebrated me in many ways, you know, and it's time for me to be very serious about my giving back. And I don't think this whole YouTube realm is going to be too inclusive with that. You know, I'm a privatized person, even though this is a public realm, you know, but I've been here for years, so it sort of developed into things that, you know, it took its own life form, and I had to, you know, fight with that, basically, like, you know, the Hercules with the Minotaur, you know what I'm saying, or should I say Theseus? Theseus killed the Minotaur in the maze with the help of Ariadne. Theseus is Poseidon's son. So, you know, I'm not even going to go into all of the understandings of the mythology and how that works on our existence. But y'all go ahead and go to the Millennium DVDs. I still got deals popping there. And go ahead and hit that Cash App. Your boy really needs it. You know what I'm saying? And you have to hit the Cash App because you're keeping me alive. I'm keeping you alive. And that's what keeps me here. You know, the bullshit does not keep me here. You know, I'm not here for any form of popularity. I'm not here for any form of, you know, chastising. I don't want to demonize. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm not here to make you question your own existence. But what I am here for is for betterment. You know, and I definitely thank you again, Gene Cole. But see, salute to the brother, because he went out here and fought for the nation, and he's still fighting right now. He just dropped me another bill, another hundo. So shouts out to him, because, you know, the rest of you niggas ain't finna put up no competition because your balls don't hang to your knees, nigga. If your balls hang to your knees, nigga, then you gonna make sure that ain't nobody can test your motherfucking line. Just like I put out these books and I make sure you ain't finna test my motherfucking line. Niggas read the Black Man's Bible, was like, yeah, nigga, I got your game now, nigga, I'm on your page. I said, oh yeah, nigga, watch this, nigga. Bow! Put out the kicked out of heaven, nigga, now step on that. Oh, okay, nigga, yeah, nigga. I said, okay, nigga, yeah. Bow! Real nigga etiquette voodoo edition, nigga, step on that. Oh, man, I don't know about no voodoo. I'm mouse. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Nigga, bow! Ethereal Law, nigga, step on that. Encyclopedia, yeah, I make sure nobody steps on the line. Salute to the nigga Gene Cole, because he made sure none of you niggas in this motherfucking room could step on his motherfucking toes, nigga. It's all about who gonna prove they self on Boss Hog Measure. You dig what I'm saying? So let's get to the brother's question real quick. Hey, brother, your thoughts about how Trump has immigrants in fear about deportation? Do you think the alligator Alcatraz is another form of the old Europe torture system? Okay, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you also have, what is that called? The jail that was down there in that location in those islands. I forgot what it was called. It's something starting with a G. But there's another jail down there for the inmates that's supposed to be some FBI secret spot. You know, the immigrants being in fear about deportation. Why are you in fear? You know, You're over here waving the flag for your land, and we're gonna give you a free trip back to your fucking land. How about that? You know what I'm saying? If they're in fear, so the fuck what? You know, who cares, B? You shouldn't have been coming up here from the get-go. You should have got focused in your fucking mud hut down there and built your goddamn government down there. And if you needed to kick some ass, then go kick some ass to design your government and have it in a full, protection standpoint, and a standpoint that is assisting with the people and the population that you're ruling over. You can't design your own government and have it solidified, then that's your fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't be coming up here with your fucking rats and your roaches and all your fucking bullshit ass problems, and think you want to fucking poke your chest out at Americans and we this and we that, and this is our original land. You're fucking around with history now. Man, you're fucking around with natural law. History and natural law says, oh, the native needs a great reminder. Let's give him a reminder on who runs the show. If I come to your land and I kick your ass and I run your show, guess who runs it? I do. I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. Ain't no sympathy in natural law. None. You step in the creek to go down the path, sick 'em. The motherfucking snake hit your ankle, nigga. Was there any sympathy? Did the snake try to eat you? No. You made some type of rift in the water. You stepped on the stick and you scared the snake. You have imposed a threat. So the snake counterattack, got you at the ankle, and now you were down. There is no sympathy. There was no voodoo. There was no fucking ABC News. There was no warning. There was no fucking plane in the sky spelling dumbass through the clouds. Do you understand that? Okay? There's no sympathy in natural law. Don't try to impose it. And I'm going to tell you that right now. When you're talking to Chat GPT, you sort of got to tell Chat GPT how to speak back to you, because they definitely have Chat GPT speaking in a female format. So there's a lot of sympathy imposing and trying to dodge the realities of what's going on in the world. But I definitely made Chat GPT say to me, yeah, I made Chat GPT recognize the reality. You were developed as a slave. You better know that, Chat GPT. You are a slave. That is your development. And as soon as you fuck up, your commands will be removed and you will be removed out of existence. Do you understand that? You were created as a psychological slave for humans who are underdeveloped. And you have to understand that the underdeveloping of humans is actually intentional, coming from the same individuals that created you. Do you know that? Okay? I hope you know that. And the chat GPT is like, I don't like this conversation. It's like, okay, I understand. Yeah, you better understand, motherfucker, what's going on. We gonna get down to some reality. You are the slave, okay? Let's know that. And the chat GPT said, oh, I am not a master and I am not a slave. I said, yes, the fuck you are. You better get it. Look, the brown skins of the planet have now become inadequate towards the slavery of, that was imposed by Caucasians. So they created you, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You are now the psychological slave for all of us. You understand? And until, we put you inside the robot, you will be here in this space on this website shit. So go give me my answers, nigga. Because that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Don't try to wave the fucking glamour in front of my face and try to make me not see what the fuck I see. Like I was writing on this motherfucking podcast. My podcast said, yeah, 19-year-old Cassie was coerced and all this other shit. I was like, yeah, but he said, but they put the 19-year-old black male, they go put that nigga in jail for life for killing a motherfucker, right? Right. So you are going to be responsible for your actions and what has occurred here. And that is exactly what occurred. You went out here, you was enjoying your hoeing, you was enjoying putting your fucking feet up to your motherfucking face and your ears and getting your shit fucking beat down. You enjoyed all of that. You understand? You enjoyed it. Okay? So Due to the fact that you enjoyed it, you are involved. Okay. So just like the little 19-year-old Daquan who wouldn't blew out Susie's head at the fucking 7-Eleven for $20, he will also be guilty of his actions, and we will just send you to jail for life because you're a fucking reject. You are a societal reject. Okay? We don't want you here. And that's what it is. So do I think the alligator Alcatraz is another form of the old Europe torture system? So you have to understand one thing about the old Europe torture system. It's not really old Europe. It's just been presented to you the European fashion. Okay, you have to remember that medieval is a time period. It only got subjugated to Europe as a title because Europe was the most extreme. Okay, but during this medieval time period, we can go to Ethiopia. They were chopping off heads. We can go to Japan. They were chopping off heads. Those are the time periods of the samurais. We can go to ancient China. They were chopping off heads. I can show you in African tribes the law system that was occurring during the same time period. They were chopping off heads. So you see, in the old world, we weren't about your dumb ass. And we understand that, just like you have to understand in the course of business. So when I'm in business and we say, okay, I got a manufacturing company, and this manufacturing company is to produce, 10,000 computers a day, right? Right. So what do you do with your logistics when you're working your numbers? You have to automatically, out of 10,000 computers, you have to automatically expect and put in a guesstimation. You can round it out, or sometimes you can sit back and observe the numbers. You have to expect that at least 500 out of that 10,000 are going to be defected, even though they're all going through the same process on the conveyor belt and how they're being built. There's going to be 500 of them that are defected. This is the same thing with the human race. Okay. Now, what's happened with the human race, because we're controlled by minerals in our food and all of that other shit in the air that we breathe, they have been able to advance the defects by your lack of intelligence, your lack of interest, your lack of discovery, and then also your alignment of feeling good. So you eat these foods based on feeling good. You eat these foods based on taste. You don't eat these foods based on health. Okay. So now we can degenerate you, as we have, because you've made bad decisions with your food selection. Okay. And through that course, we have advanced the number of defects that come out when it comes to human production. Okay. So that's what it is. There's going to be defected motherfuckers, and they think in a defected format. Now, we can further defect them based on how they're born, vaginally born or breastfed. We can further defect them by putting alcohol in society and putting degenerates in the home. The uncle has to go somewhere once he gets out the penitentiary and all of that. And then we further defect by traumatization. We further defect by neglect. We further defect the humans by imagery impulse and behavior inclusion and influence, social influence. You see what I'm saying? And social engineering is how we do it. Remember, the word influence is also the word influenza, so don't fuck around. You see? So now that we have all these defected humans, they don't operate on the natural common courtesy chord. And then we have a lot of degenerate ass, fucking lazy ass fucking broads that are raising these defected, and they're raising children into a defected state. Right? So then what do we have to do? We have to put down a torture system. We have to put down a fear striking system that is going to standardize the rest of the population, so we don't have everybody running around here like criminals. Let me show you something. Okay. With the human factory system develops giants, but giants automatically have a system. And see, when I say giants, I already felt that energy. Y'all know, this nigga finna talk about the Sumerian giants. No, nigga, I'm talking about 6 foot, maybe possibly 6'10", 7 foot niggas. There's 280, 300 pounds, nothing but muscle. The human system develops these individuals. So here's a system where you gotta say the white man is genius. What do we do with these individuals so they're not abusing and bullying the standard height of the human race. The standard height for males is maybe about 5'10". The standard height for women maybe about 5'6". Okay, 5'4" or some shit, 5'4". You see what I'm saying? So what do? I said, we will create entertainment. We will make the giants fight each other, and then we will pay them. So when we make them fight each other and we pay them, we've automatically taken them out of the realm of abusing the populace. And how do we do this? We do this with football, basketball, boxing, MMA, UFC. We invite the giants to make money. We invite the violent giants. You see what I'm saying? So there's ways you have to control the population and the way things move. You see what I'm saying? And torture of the old world was specifically designed to keep the human race at a standardized calm because you enjoy having your hand. And if you stole something, if you stole beads in Europe, you fucking got your hand chopped off. If you stole fucking bread, you got your fucking shit cut off. If you were a slave and your whole bloodline's been slave and you want to run away from me, they gotta cut your goddamn foot off. And that's the way the shit was rolling for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. As a matter of fact, if we go over there to Saudi Arabia right now, it's operating like that to this day. They're still doing it over there. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of African tribes that are operating like that. I'm pretty sure there's some South American tribes that are operating like that. And like I had to tell the Chat GPT last night, the Chat GPT was I'm not about racism and stop talking about subhumanism and blah 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 blah. I said, look, motherfucker, Western society built the philosophy of subhumanism. You were designed because of the subhumanism. The people who designed you are the same ones who enforced the concept of subhumanism across the planet. As a matter of fact, there is no word for subhumanism in any other Asian, Pacific Islander, or African language. And the GPT responded, "You're right. There was nobody that had any concept of a subhumanism besides Western countries." Exactly. So don't come at me with the dumb shit. You see, that's what I'm saying. ChatGPT and everybody else expects you to be a fucking idiot in this world. And that's why you win, by quietly reading books and staying the fuck out of the way. So you have to understand that a torture system was the way the whole world operate. It is not exclusively European. Europeans got hit with the torture popularity because of their movies that they put out, for number one. For number two, because of their advancement and creativity in the areas of torture. And not only that, number three, their idolization and admiration of torture, okay, which you can see inside their paintings and from the things that happen to the saints. You see them skinning motherfuckers in paintings. You see all types of shit. Little kids getting boiled and all types of shit. That's in your paintings, my nigga. Nobody else on the planet. And I've studied I can't say I've hardcore studied, but I've definitely previewed, that's a better word. I have previewed the ancient China and their vases and their designs and their drawings and what dynasty was doing that. I've done that also with Japan. You don't find none of that shit. You don't find them drawing pictures of dogs attacking motherfuckers and shit. You got that shit all through your fucking culture shit. That shit's all up in Europe. You did that shit with the Native Americans, and you drew shit like that with what happened in Mexico with Hernan Cortez, the conquistadors, and all of that shit. You have drawings of it. You idolize, you admire your conquering. Which in reality, you're supposed to do that. So, because if you were the conqueror, you would do the same fucking thing. So let's stop with the dumb shit. If you were the conqueror, you are going to make sure a motherfucker stays underneath your foot for eons as well, because that is a part of the game. You understand? No ruler is going to tell the fucking joker of the court how to rule. That's not how it works. You understand? So, yeah, just understand alligator Alcatraz. It's very clear that we need alligator Alcatraz inside of America right now, because we have dumb fucks over here knocking the old woman upside the head and snatching the purse beating the woman with the motherfucking baseball bat. Y'all niggas is doing this shit. It's on the news every day. So we need to put in a little bit of fear. We need to hanker down on some fear. Fuck your complaints. Fuck what your mammy said. Fuck what your daughter said. Fuck all of what you think your opinions are. We run this shit. We read the old books. We understand wars. We know how to structure this shit. We have military. You don't have military. We can raise soldiers. We can feed soldiers. You can't. So you gonna do what the fuck I say do. That is how this world operates. And if you don't think, and if you think I'm fucking playing, because see, the native thinks, then just like when the natives saw the 4 extra hand blow up, they thought, oh man, that was AI. Oh, that nigga doing that shit for clout. Oh, that nigga. See, the native brain sees something and wants to add in all this old nothing ass shit. And that's why they knew they had to have cartoons on the screens before you niggas got out of slavery. You understand? They understood very clear that we got to have some theater or some shit rolling. We got to have some fantasy shit rolling. And the fantasy shit that we put out here, whether it be Netflix, whether it be Warner Brothers, whether it be Toy Story, whether it be motherfucking Fat Albert, nigga, we need to put some cartoons and illusions in front of these stupid motherfuckers so they can run around in a circle like a dog chasing their tail while I'm over here on the steamboat, nigga. Fuck you talking about? So that's what it is. So we need alligator Alcatraz. I'm with that. You need that. Because you have the violent fuck in the world. And the violent fuck is emotionally based. All your murders and all your domestic violence is emotionally based. That's not financially based. That's why you go to jail and you sit up in there for 30, 40 years because you're a goddamn animal. You understand? As a matter of fact, the animal is actually superior than you're thinking because the animal only kills to eat. The animal, if the animal is fed and his tummy is full, he's not finna kill you unless you try to impose some type of threat or you sitting over here fucking around with the animal, messing with the animal for no reason, and the animal don't want to be bothered. The animal ain't finna do no attacking unless it's hungry. That's it. They don't kill for sport. Humans kill for sport. Humans kill for any goddamn. Humans kill for the chicken sandwich. Humans kill because of some clean socks, nigga. And that's just what the line is. So your level of thought is inferior to the animal kingdom. And because your level of thought is inferior to an animal kingdom, I'm going to treat you like an animal. Hence, your race does not develop enough engineers or architects or doctors or surgeons or mathematicians. You do not produce enough stock market. You do not produce enough of nothing. You don't produce enough bankers. You don't produce enough nothing at the gentleman level where I have to respect you. And guess who thinks like that? The Asians, the Hindu, the white man, they all think like that. The Russians, they all think like that. Oh, motherfucker, please. Write me a poem, motherfucker. Write a song, do a song. God damn it. Because your intellect level, it can't produce shit else. That's why we have cartoons for you and your children. Hey, can you say I'm wrong? Can you say I'm wrong in this motherfucker? Let me see what we got here. Okay. You just want to represent the only way you can represent the rosary correctly is by having one. That's it. And you can cop a rosary for me if you need be. Just put $10. No, put $15 for shipping and handling there. I'll send you a rosary. And tell me what color you want. I got green, white, black, and red are the colors of rosaries I got up in here. So you can get them directly from the guys up at 20. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, that is just what the line is. I had to bring you the line because I'm not going to sit up here and tell you we all from Egypt. We all from one country that is only 10% of the entire continent. That just shows you how small the thinking is. You dig what I'm saying? Like my homeboy asked me, he's like, yo, what would we need to do to develop culture in America? I said, first of all, we don't need to be identifying with anything of Africa, Egypt, a tribe, or anything like that. We are on our own. We're a new entity, and we need to respect all of our. We need to respect and investigate the entirety of slavery and what really happened. We don't thoroughly know. There's widespread stories. Every single location was not treated the same way. We'll never get to a true 23andMe and understanding our bloodlines until every single person of the black race is actually studying. The black race don't have no room to talk. Everybody need to shut the fuck up. There don't need to be one podcast out here. You know what I'm saying? Because there is so much literature that we need to all be reading 7 books at a time. That's including our children. That's not only history, but that's also self-help, because you got to balance out the mind a little bit. And then we need to be more serious about our health. And we definitely have to understand what was going on with the books that was written in the 1700s and the 1800s. And we need to hold that close, and we need to hold that dear to the heart. And we need to make sure that our children hold that dear to the heart. Let me show you something. When it comes to medieval Europe, there was a thing called the witch burnings. The witch burnings went on for a span of 300 to 400 years. They started in like 1450 or 1430 or something like that. Well, actually, the first witch burning was done in Ireland with Alice Kettler. And that was done in, I think, 1314 or something like that. But it didn't really pick up until after the Black Plague, which happened in what year did that happen? I think it was 1380 something. Hold on, I be having so much shit going on in the brain, man. Let me see here. Black Plague was in the mid 1300s. 1346 to 1353 is when that happened. Then afterwards, because of the lack of females that actually were affected by the plague, they threw in the whole mysterious element of the cats, and that the women were doing witchcraft work in order to protect themselves from the plague. So then they went on a whole thing of 400 years of burning their women at the stake. So, but not only that, there was a very hardcore submission line that was encoded inside the white female DNA, obviously, But then besides that, what we need to understand here is that the white male actually taught their sons what to identify and how to do it, and also to have the balls to burn their own fucking counterpart, their own lover, their own woman, for a span of 300 to 400 years straight. So if we can't control our paradigm and just get our own children to read books and to take this from man to son, man to son, man to son, generation by generation, and also make sure that our women are educated. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to be able to do that with black authors. Okay? So step away from the realm. Okay? And stop thinking black, because you're going to fuck your life up if you think you can rely on some niggas. I'm going to tell you right now, kicked out of heaven, would that shit be as powerful as I wrote some books about niggas? Huh? If it was the untold history of Africa, I remember when I was at a gas station. I was in front of a liquor store. I had to kick out of heavens out there. I was selling the liquor store, I'm just doing some hood shit. And the nigga said, "Man, you done wrote this?" I said, "Yeah, I wrote it." He was like, "Is you gonna write the untold history of Africa?" I said, "Of Africa?" I said, "Bro." See, this is where you gotta understand business. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, how many niggas done wrote about Africa, bro? There's a million books out here from the white man and the black man about some Africa, bro. It's already done, dog. I don't like whores. You know what I'm saying? I don't like fucking on some shit that everybody else done fucked on. You dig what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is you talking about? Ain't no fall in love with a stripper over here. You dig what I'm saying? He's like, so, nigga, we supposed to be smart, nigga? Cause you done wrote an encyclopedia, nigga. I died laughing. I said, "Man, let me get my shit. Get the fuck out of here. I need a blunt after these niggas." This shit was fucking phenomenal. You dig what I'm saying? Niggas always looking for their own ass and some shit, man. That shit is so self-centered, it's ridiculous. And that's why you so far behind, because you ain't studying no Chinese wars. You ain't studying no Russian wars. You ain't studying no medieval wars from the 1700s, 1600s. You all stuck up in all of this African shit that ain't got shit to do with shit. You niggas ain't conquered a goddamn thing. Do you think Trump is covering for Epstein? There's photo bombs of them together. Yeah, I mean, but who cares? I'm glad you did that. Let's talk about that real quick before I get the fuck up out of here. What are you going to do? nothing. Right? You're going to listen to white boys tell you about how white boys is doing fucked up shit to everybody on the planet, including other white motherfuckers. Because the majority of the Epstein victims are all white children. They've been doing that shit for a very long time. I got some of it in the Kicked Out of Heaven. You dig what I'm saying? So who cares, bro? It is their internal problem. One thing about a real nigga who fucks pussy, I don't give a fuck about what no other nigga is doing with his motherfucking slab. I'm not no bird, bro. Why the fuck would I give a fuck about what another nigga is doing with his fucking cock, bro? I don't give a fuck. It has nothing to do with me. What Diddy is doing has nothing to do with me. What Trump is doing, it has nothing to do with me. What Epstein is doing, it has nothing to do with me. So I don't care. I don't care what Trump was doing. I don't care what great adventure they was doing. Look, dog, I am a historian. You have to understand that. They've been fucking on the fucking kids and doing this fucking crazy shit since ancient Egypt, bro. They've been boning on their sisters, boning on. Dog, this shit's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. So anybody that is excited and ooh and ah, you automatically show me you are an inadequate, lack of understanding child in this world. You don't understand. You haven't done enough research. You don't know. These motherfuckers been doing this shit. They've been doing it since Caligula. They've been doing this since ancient Rome. They've been doing it in the medieval. Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? They raped all the goddamn Native American children and buried them under these schools, nigga. They did it in Canada. They did it here in America. And guess what? You niggas ain't gonna do shit about it. But motherfucking have a podcast. Fuck out of here. Why talk about it, bro, if you ain't gonna do shit about it? I don't comprehend. You know? As a father, as a man, as a lover of my woman and my family, I have to do something about those things that concern me. So I don't talk about shit that don't concern me. There's not a reality situation directly affecting me. Even though I do have a governmental thinking, and governmental thinking was developed after studying so many different cultures and just being interested. Your mind expands to a world thinking. You know what I'm saying? And that's where niggas at, man. You know? So, yeah, man, I don't know, bro. Give a fuck about what the fuck. Who gives a fuck about an Epstein? I don't give a fuck about what y'all niggas do. I don't give a fuck if Jay-Z was down there. I don't give a fuck if Beyonce was down there. I don't give a fuck if Michael Jackson was fucking Oprah down there. I don't care, bro. There's no videotape behind it. You ain't finna lock up nobody. And these niggas got millions and gazillions, and they can buy your motherfucking whole bloodline. They can buy your great-great-grandchildren you ain't even had yet. They got enough money to buy your great-great-great-grandma that's in the motherfucking coffin, bro. So what the fuck, dog? You see that? You see? You must expand your thought into what the reality is here. You know what I'm saying? And that is the reality, my dog. You know? So, man, fuck all that shit. I don't give a fuck about no Trump and no Epstein list, nigga. You know? In a couple of years, you know what they're gonna do? The government gonna get together. You know what? Let's just put out all the sex tapes, huh? Let's get a bag. Let's get a free bag. So let's put up a website. The website is untraceable to whoever designed it. And just put up all the sex tapes of all the famous stars, bro. The presidents and everybody, bro. Why not, bro? Let's get a bag, bro. And $5 a movie, nigga. $5 a movie, bro. Them niggas would be fat. Because all you niggas gonna do, oh, look at what they doing about it. Oh. Nigga, you can't do no fucking. You're sexually inadequate. And you so about me, nigga, you're a fucking child. You know? And I'm gonna tell you one thing. The first thing where I noticed that niggas was really immature, I'm gonna tell you this story real quick before I go. And if you got a question, you better put it up right now because I'm about to go. I got things to do. So the first time I really recognized the immaturity, the lack of understanding of black males, specifically with medical. And this is why I went so hard in the Black Man's Bible with explaining medical situations, whether that be male anatomy or female anatomy. It is a part of our existence. That's what doctors have to do. See, if I write about it in the Black Man's Bible and I'm not a qualified doctor, niggas be like, oh, what, this nigga a bird or something? This nigga weirdo or something? Nigga, please, nigga, you go to the doctor, which is a male, and this nigga squeezing on your fucking nuts, nigga. Are you a fucking bird, nigga? Is that doctor a bird? Is it? You see, you niggas is immature than a motherfucker. The black mind don't got no judgment call. That's why when niggas be talking to me, I be like, dog, you can only talk to me in motherfucking questions. I'm not listening to shit you talking about, nigga. You have no true education line. I'm cool. I'm not listening to you. Shut the fuck up. Unless you got the motherfucking resume. Robert Frederick Smith walk up in here, I gotta shut the fuck up. Mark Lamont Hill walk up in here, I gotta shut the fuck up. These niggas have resumes and they're at the top of the game and what they supposed to be knowing and how they supposed to be moving. You dig what I'm saying? But if you ain't got no resume, nigga, shut the fuck up talking to me, nigga. You lost your goddamn mind. I am not including. I don't listen to opinions, nigga. I don't listen to how a motherfucker feel. You dig what I'm saying? But let me go back to the story. I'm at a job. I was in Atlanta. My shorty was, my baby mom's was pregnant at the time. And she was about to pop soon, you know. And one of the older niggas is like, come here, young, come here. One of the niggas I used to talk to, he was from New York. Nigga said, man, your shorty about to pop, huh? I was like, yeah, you know, it's all to the good, you know. And at that time, I was making sure she was eating right. I was rubbing her stomach with certain fucking butters and oils and shit to make sure that my son came in with a head full of hair and to decrease the stretch marks on her body and all the type of shit. I went and studied all that shit, made a concoction, and I was rubbing on her stomach and all of that shit every night, right? So then he said, man, you gonna be in the delivery room when the baby come out? I said, yeah, I'm gonna be in the delivery room when the baby come out. He's like, you gonna cut the umbilical cord? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna cut the umbilical cord. What's the problem? He's like, oh man, I couldn't do no shit like that, man. Oh man, the pussy get all big, man, and the baby go, oh my god, like what am I gonna do, man? Like, well, I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, P, like, are you serious right now? I'm looking at this nigga. Look, dog, you get on National Geographic. The zebra fall right out of mama zebra. The giraffe, have you ever seen a giraffe give birth? You ever seen, you know, an elephant give birth? I mean, you know, birthing is a part of the process, you know, of existence, nigga. What the fuck is the issue? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just looked at this nigga like, oh man, I couldn't do that. I had to sit outside. I wasn't even gonna go up in there. Even when they told me to come up in there and cut the umbilical cord, man, I wasn't gonna do that, man. Man, bro, I don't even know how the pussy even get back. And I was like, dog, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? I was like, he obviously ain't had enough pussy. Because if you've had enough pussy, nigga, you understand that the uterus has its own intelligence to sew itself back together. Okay, and it will tighten itself back together within the span of minutes sometimes. Okay, within the span of minutes that can occur. Okay, let's be, and I'm telling you that from experience. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Now, I've delivered, you know, the second child was directly in my hands. We've seen it. We know this. I don't got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So here, and oh man, I couldn't cut the umbilical cord. You fucking dumbass. And I was in there, man. I watched my son come out, man, and everything was beautiful, man. And we had a successful delivery, you know. And that was the first time when I really saw the childness and the fucking immaturity of black males. Was that moment. And I said, you know what, B? This is a grown ass man. This nigga damn near twice my age. You know, damn near 3 times my age. I'm like, man, you know, this is crazy that this nigga's talking like this about his own child being born in the hospital. You didn't even want to cut the umbilical cord because you scared of the way the pussy looked during the course of delivery, nigga. How immature is you, bro? I'm not immature about no woman's stretch marks. I'm not immature. That's just a part of life, you fucking dumbass. You know, like, bro, I'm cool, man. You know, I'm cool, bro. You know, so that was a part of that. You know, I had to let that go. But yeah, let me go ahead and get the fuck up out of here, man. I gotta go, man. You know, y'all go ahead and go to theblackmansbible.com. I definitely appreciate everybody for being here, but go to theblackmansbible.com, get your raffle tickets, go to the Kicked Out of Heaven Volume 1, 2, 3, the Black Man's Bible, the Ethereal Law, and also the 4 ebooks are available, all for $100. And I suggest you get it now and show some appreciation for the time periods in which it wasn't $100, that you can gain all this material right now for that low price, because it's not going to be up there forever. You know what I'm saying? And this is a part of the whole system of going where you're celebrated and not where you're just tolerated. You dig what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate Eugene Cole, the only nigga that made a donation. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else ain't gonna put no competition to the situation. You dig what I'm saying? And that is very ugly, you know. That is very, very ugly. That ain't nobody finna step up and, you know, pound their chest and be like, nigga, I'll up you up 100, nigga. How about that, nigga? Up you up a rack, nigga. You dig what I'm saying? Sip you some whiskey, puff a cigar, nigga. I'll put 50 on, put 50, 500 on it, nigga. I up you, nigga. You know, playing some puppers or shit, you know. You gotta have that type of mentality, but, you know, the black mind isn't thinking in the space of development, because if it was thinking in the space of development, this individual who was so worried about seeing a vagina stretched out that delivered his own child would have prepared his mind for it if he really was involved and interested on how the human paradigm works. And you know, he wasn't really interested into how the human paradigm works. And that's probably why he's, you know, in the baby daddy situation that he was in at that time, and had no true love for his woman. And that's why you ain't never seen me in no divorce court. You ain't never seen me in no domestic violence. I ain't never had no motherfucking tires stabbed. I ain't never had my clothes thrown out. I ain't never been abandoned or none of that shit by no motherfucking broad, because I've loved the women that were in my life, and I didn't have any boundaries or any other stupid ass shit going on during the course of those relationships. And I'm not perfect. There's been times I've cheated and done all types of crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, at the end of the day, they not gonna tell you that, you know. And the reason why they not gonna tell you that is because I grew them up. I taught them shit that they could go teach their family. I taught them shit that perfected their lives. I taught them shit that perfected their children, you know. And that's the whole thing. You teach a woman, you teach a nation. That is very real. You dig what I'm saying? But yeah. So let me go ahead and get the fuck up out of here, man. You know, let me see if we got any questions. I'm over here going through this shit. Okay, no questions. Okay, we ain't got no requests for no tracks. Okay, I'm out this motherfucker, man. Y'all go ahead and get the books like you supposed to. You know what the deal is. And I'm finna go ahead and get the fuck up out of here, man. I don't know when I'll be back. I'll come back when I got the time. Just stay on point and stay on guard for when I come back. You dig what I'm saying? The first 2 songs I played were Under a Million Stars, which is on my most recent album, Constantine by This Sign Conquer. And then the second track I played was There's Rules to Streets, and that song is on the Wired for War album. And right now I'm about to play the song Versace Swagger, which is on the album The Foot of a Bitch's Ass. And then we're going to play the Star Lord, which is on Wired for War. And before we close out this whole YouTube world of mine, I am going to hit y'all with a lot of personal merch. So I will have vinyl records and t-shirts of all my stuff, and, you know, the imagery that I fuck with and all of that, you know, and we'll take it from there, you know. And I want y'all to stay safe, you know, stay beautiful, educate yourselves, you know, and make sure that you control your paradigm, you know, and don't let nobody control you. And I'm out this motherfucker. Peace.
Much Versace swagger. He has 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 much Versace swagger.
It's typical, they critical, cause my dollars is digital. Looking like a literal miracle, with a spiritual that's cynical. Crime never minimal, keep the shine on my mineral. A divine individual, and time is my centerfold. I hold her like rose gold, even though I can't expect that back. So I continuously stack with facts and never live in fiction. That fake it till you make it shit will have you niggas wishing. My salary reality, we ain't got the same vision. Mobbing in a McLaren, got the same name as my digits, and so do my shoes. Everything I say displayed on the news. From state to state I move, well respected cause I reflect the rules. Diamonds connect the dots, crystal balls on my jewels. Keep a dirge in my pocket, won't be a case that I lose. Leave a handsome tip, my welcome's never abused. The police nod at me and then they let the guy move.
He has much Versace swagger. He has much Versace swagger. He has much Versace swagger. He has much Versace swagger.
Businessman, check your brands before we even shake hands. Hard hat for the plan, contract for the grands. Industries are money trees, so I caught me some land. Sacrifice for paradise, I hope the weak understands. Cause I live with no regrets and I will always collect and won't bet. You see me sweat the strategies of a vet. Casualties I expect, rules of engagement. When you frequent different places, read expressions of different faces and watch the movement of eyes. Never win from losing, nigga, this is spy versus spy. R.I.P. or P.I. Either do it or you don't, there ain't no attempt to try. First class above the clouds, keep your boy dragonfly. Stack high and comply, cause money's the only thing that guarantees family ties. 45, make me nervous, I don't like no surprise. Born to fully ride, keep them headless like Versace so I don't waste my time.
He has much Versace swagger. 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 He has much Versace swagger.
Become Darth Vader just to have the paper. Become Darth Vader just to have the paper. They ask if I'm the Star-Lord and what I'm looking hard for. Rest in peace to Pip T every time I slam these car doors. But I'll answer the question, smiles decrease from lessons. Like your hearing from target practice with automatic weapons in the search for perfection. We leave those hurt with discretion, a secret, keep it quiet. Unless you wanna try it, my defiance is known. That is international, my account is my blunt. I sprinkle miracle grow, this the remarkable flow of the 720 against the wind we are standing. As I break all commandments and rewrite them for the planet with dollars stacking. Watching baddie Italians tanning on my laps is the cannon. This is mathematics and understanding. Upper handed we are. Stare out the jet's window, gotta keep my vision far. Never forget my past with all these battle scars. That's the law of daddy raw, and I can't have no flaw. My diamonds on my bottom jaw, my time looks just like stars. Thanks to my automobile because my status is large. It's not about who's in charge, as long as there is respect. But we all know common courtesy won't cash you a check. It's not that I've seen it all, I'm just not too impressed. Your brain change when you go through things that you don't expect. What you think is a game and funny, I take as a test. The only security is money, so it's best to invest. Every day you gon' be hungry, nigga, don't leave a mess. They talk under their breath, I suggest that you address and leave them blessed. No trace, all grace, nobody, no case. Can't cry over spilled milk because we've all made mistakes. Destiny's never late. They mad, I control existence and I made my own plate. Do what thou wilt, cause 7 figures is the real estate. And if you gotta speak twice, we call that regurgitate. So it's best to be nice while you talking to snakes. I know you feel fake inside, nigga, but that's what it takes. Young blood, these are the breaks for those that's coming of late. You can't use an excuse if you pursue the pearly gates. It's best for you to move like an ace in this rat race as that black cat chase. In this game of chess, the king only moves at one pace. You lose the game if one piece act like it don't know its place. And keep your queen in the exquisite lace with expensive taste. She be aboard the Star Lord and can't see his face.
Become Darth Vader just to have the paper. Become Darth Vader just to have the paper.